हॅलो, तिथे एकदा चेक कर.
डिजिटल नालंदा में आप सबका स्वागत है। मेरा नाम है और मैं डिजिटल नालंदा की मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर हूँ। आज 3 तारीख है। आज 3 तारीख को आपको पता है कि सावित्रीबाई की बर्थ एनिवर्सरी पे हम यहाँ पे सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए आए हैं। तो हम ये प्रोग्राम शुरू करेंगे। सबसे पहले तो हम सावित्रीबाई के फोटो पे माल्यार्पण करेंगे, उसके बाद प्रदर्शन होगा। तो चलिए हम इस प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत करते हैं। तो हम सबसे पहले NavKiran और मनीषा मैम को बुला के माल्यार्पण करते हैं। NavKiran Savitrimai Phule, NavKiran Savitrimai Phule, NavKiran Savitrimai Phule, ये सावित्रीबाई फुले जी के फोटो पे माल्यार्पण किया। उसके बाद हम प्रदर्शन शुरू करेंगे। गच्छामि तदीयं संघं शरणं गच्छामि पाणिपाता वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि पाणिपाता वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि कामेषु मिथ्याचारा वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि मुसावादा वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि सुरामेरयं जपमानठाना वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि पापश्चरणं कुशलोपसंपदा सचित्तपरियोदपणं एतं ज्ञानशास्त्रम् चरितं नतं चरितं चरे ब्रह्मचारी सुखसेति अस्मि दुःखे परमिच लतावतारमहरो या कथा बन्धासति योजत्वं निपाणम् धम्मं सवे धम्मतरो यो धम्मं प्रपश्यति तन्मे शरणं मह्यं बुद्धो मे शरणं एतेन सज्जवचेन मे जयमङ्गलं तन्मे शरणं मह्यं बुद्धो मे शरणं एतेन सज्जवचेन मे जयमङ्गलं तन्मे शरणं मह्यं संघो मे शरणं एतेन सज्जवचेन मे जयमङ्गलं दोस्तों ये हमने अपने कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करी है तो हमारा अगला स्टेज है कि हम अपने स्टार्टिंग हमारी सरकारी यूनिवर्सिटी का वो आपको सावित्रीबाई के बारे में प्रेजेंट करेंगे।
हाय फ्रेंड्स, जय भीम। आज हम सावित्रीमाई फुले के बारे में जानेंगे। आज हम उनकी बायोग्राफी जानने वाले हैं। ज्ञान ज्योति सावित्रीमाई फुले। माई ने हम सबके लिए बहुत कुछ किया है, लेकिन क्या हम उनको अच्छे से जानते हैं? नहीं। क्या आपको पता है माई का जन्म 3 जनवरी 1831 में महाराष्ट्र के सातारा जिले के नायगांव में हुआ था। 1840 में केवल 9 साल की उम्र में माई की शादी 13 साल के ज्योतिबा फुले जी से हुई। माई की पढ़ने लिखने की तीव्र इच्छा को देख ज्योतिबा ने माई को घर पर ही पढ़ना लिखना सिखाया। माई ने अपना दाखिला पुणे और अहमदनगर के शिक्षक प्रशिक्षण संस्था में करवाया। धीरे धीरे उन्होंने सगुनाबाई के साथ मिलकर लड़कियों को पढ़ाना शुरू किया। इसके कारण वो भारत की पहली शिक्षिका और संचालिका बनी। अपनी किशोर व्यवस्था में ही माई और ज्योतिबा ने मिलकर 1848 में पुणे में लड़कियों के लिए पहला स्कूल शुरू किया। पूरे साथ नहीं है। दोनों को जब उनके परिवार और समाज ने बहिष्कृत करके घर से बाहर निकाला, तो फातिमा शेख और उनके भाई उस्मान शेख उन्होंने दोनों को आश्रय दिया। माई ने अपनी सहयोगी फातिमा बेगम शेख के साथ दलित वर्ग की महिलाएं और बच्चों को पढ़ाना शुरू किया, जैसे कि मांग और महार। में 1851 के आखिर में फुले दाम्पत्य 3 स्कूल चला रहे थे, जिसमें वो लगभग 150 लड़कियों को पढ़ा रहे थे। जल्द ही उनके स्कूल में पढ़ रहे लड़कियों की संख्या सरकारी स्कूल में पढ़ रहे लड़कों से अधिक हो गई। 1852 में माई ने महिलाओं में अपने अधिकार, गरिमा, सामाजिक परेशानियों की जानकारी के लिए महिला सेवा मंडल की शुरुआत की। माई जब स्कूल में पढ़ाने जाती थी, तो लोग उनकी ओर पत्थर और गोबर फेंका करते थे। फिर भी माई डगमगाई नहीं, बल्कि अपने लक्ष्य की ओर निर्धारित होकर चलती रही। माई ने बच्चों का स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट रोकने के लिए उनको स्कॉलरशिप देने की प्रथा भी शुरू की। 1863 में ज्योतिराव और माई ने बाल हत्या प्रतिबंधक गृह की स्थापना की, जो कि भारत का पहला भ्रूण हत्या रोकने के लिए बनाया गया केंद्र हो सकता है। माई ने बिना थके समाज की बुराइयों पे काम किया, जैसे कि बाल विवाह, सती प्रथा और विधवा पुनर्विवाह की भी शुरुआत उन्होंने की। 24 सितंबर 1873 में जब उन्होंने सामाजिक सुधारों के लिए सत्यशोधक समाज संस्था की भी स्थापना की। नवंबर 28, 1890 में ज्योतिबा के देहांत के बाद माई ने ही सत्यशोधक समाज को आगे बढ़ाया। माई ने 2 किताबें भी लिखी। पहली 1854 में काव्य फूले और दूसरी 1892 में काशी सुबोध रत्नाकर, जो कि उनके ही कविताओं के संग्रह है। माई का 10 मार्च 1897 में पुणे में फैली प्लेग के मरीजों की सेवा और इलाज करते समय देहांत हुआ। हम सब अपनी आइकॉन सावित्रीमाई के कार्यों के कर्ज में बहुत ही डूबे हुए हैं। उन्होंने हमारे अधिकारों के लिए आजीवन लड़ाई की, जिसका आनंद आज हम ले रहे हैं। थैंक यू सो मच माई फॉर डूइंग दिस मच फॉर अस। अब मैं ये जो सेशन है वो हैंड ओवर करना चाहूँगी उत्पला मैम को। उत्पला मैम एक हमारी सपोर्टर है बहुत अच्छी, और वो टेक प्रोफेशनल है, प्रोडक्ट रिसर्चर भी है, और वो वर्किंग इन इंडस्ट्री इन डिज़ाइन एंड यूएक्स फॉर 15 इयर्स वहाँ पे वर्क कर रही है वो। उन्होंने अपनी पढ़ाई बैचलर ऑफ आर्किटेक्ट एंड मास्टर इन डिज़ाइन में आईआईटी बॉम्बे से किया है। वेलकम यू मैम. I am handing over this program to you now.
Thank you so much, Shilpa. ती लढली म्हणून आम्ही घडलो. I hope I'm clear. My voice is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ती लढली म्हणून आम्ही घडलो. सप्रेम जय भीम. Hello and welcome all. 3 जनवरी 2021 आज हम सब एक बहुत ही विशेष और अविस्मरणीय अवसर के लिए एकत्रित हुए हैं। आज हम मना रहे हैं ज्ञान ज्योति पर्व, विच इज सेलिब्रेशन ऑफ ज्ञान, नॉलेज, हमारी महान क्रांतिकारी शिक्षक, कवयित्री और संस्थान निर्माता सावित्रीमाई फुले की 120वीं जयंती के लिए। We are celebrating 190th birth anniversary of one of the greatest icons of the world, revolutionary, educationist, poet and institution builder, Savitrimai Phule. She was instrumental in putting women's education on the map of India and the world and forged a path for progressive and modern India. On this day, remembering he who started a movement and a revolution without whom none of us would be here, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. I'm just quoting one of his quotes. I measure the progress of a community by degree of progress which women have achieved. मेरा नाम उत्पला वांधारे है. मैं आप सभी का फिर से बहुत ही हर्षोल्लास के साथ स्वागत करती हूँ. A very warm welcome to all the people and dignitaries on this wonderful and beautiful day. मेरा आज साथ देंगी 2 और डिजिटल नालंदा के टीम मेंबर्स, सपना जाम्बुलकर जो डिजिटल नालंदा की एमडी है और किरण. आज का जो कार्यक्रम है, हमें सौभाग्य है कि हम 28 विमेन पर्सनालिटीज को आमंत्रित कर पाए हैं, हमें मौका मिला है. और हमारा आज का जो कार्यक्रम है अब से 6:30 बजे तक और 3 हिस्सों में होगा. द फर्स्ट सेक्शन, जो पहला हमारा जो सेक्शन है वो है दीप स्तंभ, वो है 10 बजे से 1 बजे तक. और जो दूसरा हमारा जो कार्यक्रम है वो है प्रदीप्ता, वो है 2 से 5 बजे तक. और तीसरा जो कार्यक्रम है वो नवकिरण, वो है 5:30 से 6:30 बजे तक. पहला कार्यक्रम दीप स्तंभ में हम समाज के 10 प्रतिष्ठित और माननीय महोदय से हम परस्पर होंगे जिन्होंने अपने जीवन और कार्य के क्षेत्र में बहुत प्रगति की है और जो हमारे लिए प्रेरणा का स्रोत है, हमारे समाज का दीप स्तंभ है. दूसरे भाग में प्रदीप्ता में हम 10 नालंदा के एलुमनी जो प्रगति की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं उनसे सुनेंगे, उनके जीवन के कुछ एक्सपीरियंसेस. इसका संचालन करेंगी सपना जाम्बुलकर. और तीसरे भाग नवकिरण में हम अपने नए चेहरों से मिलेंगे जो हमारे समाज की अभी जो नई होप है, आशाएं हैं. इसका संचालन करेंगी किरण. तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं. दीप स्तंभ, द फर्स्ट सेक्शन ऑफ दिस सेलिब्रेशन टुडे, celebration of magnificence, brilliance and beauty of extraordinary lives of 10 women achievers. They are symbolic of freedom of spirit, riding the winds of change, of growth and progress. मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी हमारी पहली स्पीकर माननीय महोदय कैप्टन रूपाली वाघमारे. I am very excited to introduce Captain Rupali Vaghmare. She is a senior captain Air India, more than 10,000 hours of flying experience in last 21 years. She has flown Airbus 310, Boeing 737 and 747 and is currently flying Boeing 787 as a commander. First female co-pilot on Air India VVIP flights for the Prime Minister's visit to China and Japan. She also has a commercial pilot license from Bridgeport Flight Training Center, USA. Over to you, Captain Rupali Vaghmare.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Utpala, for that introduction. And thank you very much, everybody at Nalanda, for inviting me today for your prestigious program and on this grand occasion of Savitrimai Phule's 120th birthday. मैं ज़्यादा इंग्लिश में बात करूँगी, हिंदी में थोड़ी कम ही, क्योंकि सारी पढ़ाई जो फ्लाइंग की है वो सारी इंग्लिश में हुई है. लेकिन मैं कोशिश तो ज़रूर करूँगी कि अपने बारे में और एजुकेशन ने मेरे लाइफ में क्या रोल प्ले किया है वो समझाने की मैं ज़रूर कोशिश करूँगी. तो जैसे उत्पला जी ने बोला है कि मैंने मेरा फ्लाइंग लाइसेंस ब्रिजपोर्ट फ्लाइट ट्रेनिंग सेंटर से पढ़ाई करके मैंने वो अर्न किया. वो तो एक पायलट का बेसिक टेक्निकल क्वालिफिकेशन होता है कि सारी पढ़ाई करने के बाद आप एक बेसिक पायलट लाइसेंस लाओ. उसके बाद आप जब नौकरी के लिए जाते हो तो ये मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. ये लाइसेंस पाने के लिए पहले तो आपको 10th और 12th मैथ्स और फिजिक्स ज़रूरी है इंडिया में. और जैसे ही मैथ्स और फिजिक्स आपका 12th स्टैंडर्ड की रिक्वायरमेंट हो गई है, आप बाकी सब छोड़ के सीधा फ्लाइंग की एकेडमी में एनरोल कर सकते हो. और वहाँ से जो फ्लाइंग का कोर्स है वो पूरा टेक्निकल कोर्स है. और इसके 2 पार्ट्स है, एक प्रैक्टिकल फ्लाइंग और एक है education, the theory of flight. So exams are there in both. You have to do your theory as well as practical side by side. और जो कि दूसरे जॉब्स में इतना एम्फेसिस नहीं रहता है. एक एस्पेक्ट जो है हमारे लाइफ का वो है मेडिकल. हर साल हमें एक बहुत ही स्ट्रिक्ट मेडिकल पास करनी पड़ती है. तो उसके लिए अपने आरोग्य का ख्याल रखना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. You have to be very mindful of your health, because if you don't pass your medical, you cannot exercise the privilege of your license. So ये सब करके मैं पहुंच गई एयर इंडिया में. I think the year was 1999 when I finally joined them. And as you all have been told, I have had the immense privilege of flying 4 different transport airplanes. And today we are flying the Boeing 787. It's the most advanced passenger jet in the world. And I'm extremely privileged to be one of the crew that gets to handle a machine that is so revolutionary in its design and in its technical features. The career that I have is exceptional because I think it's given us everything. It's given us an opportunity to see the world. It's given us an opportunity to challenge ourselves. We as pilots are never ever stagnant. We every 6 months we have to give exams. That may deter people from choosing this as a profession, because every 6 months we have to pass it, give exams, pass them, and if you cannot pass them, then you don't do the flying. So the standard that we maintain is very, very high. And this you study as a pilot till the last day of your professional career. So this is something very important when young people are looking to make a career choice as a pilot. It's not about whether I can do this or no. You may be able to do it to a point that you can get a license and you can get your initial level. But what's really important, what it takes to be a success and what it takes to continue to move on in life is grit and determination. And every day you have to have the determination to go to your job and do the best possible that you can. You have to have the determination to not fall back as far as new innovations are there in your field. You have to have the heart to come to your job and give the best of yourself, because there are 200, 300 people that trust you with their lives. And it's not a job that you can consider if you are not very serious about. Having said that, the platform that we are all speaking on today has to do with the importance of education. And to all the students out there, and to all the students that are looking for a career path, I just have something uh, really small to share with you, something that has worked for my own life. That all of us have a special talent. We all have the power in us to go, to do, to be whatever we want. It is there. The fact is that enrolling in an educational institute is something that taps that power. आप अगर पढ़ाई करोगे, तो you will be able to find something that you're really good at. Nobody gets up and says, I know that I'm going to be a fantastic innovator unless you go to school and you do something and you're able to tap that resource that tells you. आप स्कूल जाएंगे तो आपको फिर पता चलेगा कि आप कौन से फील्ड में अच्छा कर रहे हो. My advice and my experience is that when you find something that you're good at through the field of education, through going to school, you develop that as a young person, and you develop that to an extent where you become really, really good at it. And then you can sit back and then you can enjoy the rewards of your hard labor. You can enjoy all the economic benefits that come with it. You can enjoy the feeling of self-worth that a job like that brings you. You can enjoy the feeling of achievement, and then you will grow to really, really appreciate and love what you do. When you reach that level, you'll be able to come to your job every day with a profound feeling of gratitude that so much has been made possible because you went to school, you found the one thing that you were good at, and then you spent hours and hours and hours trying to become even better at that particular thing, and then you went into the world and made a contribution to it. We have such eminent examples that were mentioned today. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, of course, Savitrimai Phule. If these people had not understood the importance of education, we would not have existed without them today. And because they understood the importance of education and they gave their lives for that cause, they were not just able to do something for themselves, but they have changed the destiny of our nation. So imagine, as young students, if you went in there and you went in with the same dedication, let me see what I'm good at, and let me do my best at that thing, and let me use that to gain everything that I want out of my life. Imagine what is possible for you. 20 years ago, people who invented Google, and Facebook and Twitter were students like yourselves 20 years ago. That wasn't a very long time. And they have changed how we communicate today in the world. They have completely changed how the world communicates through their platforms. So you could be one of them. You should aspire to be one of them. And you should work with grit and determination and courage, because there are so many of us out there who have done nothing but worked fearlessly with commitment and determination, and we have gotten to where we have gotten in life. We are not extraordinary. We simply had great role models. So I would encourage everybody, every student who's on this platform today, to follow the examples of Savitrimai Phule, to follow the examples of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, because there are no other better, and really use it to move your life in the direction that you want to take it to. That's it from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rupali Wagmare ji. That was really, really inspiring. Thank you for emphasis on grit and determination and courage. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll move on to the next speaker. With us today we have हमारे साथ आज है Dr. Amritpal Kaur. A little bit about Dr. Amritpal Kaur. Amritpal Kaur is an orodental surgeon. She's also a writer, and she is joining us from Jalandhar, Punjab. She has 12 years of private practice experience, and she also is an owner of a dental clinic in the name of Jeebak. She's also associated with Institute of Ambedkar Studies and SSA-CH Foundation. Over to you, Dr. Amritpal Kaur.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया उत्पला आपका। आज डिजिटल नालंदा के इस माध्यम से जो सभी लोग हमें देख रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं, उन सबको मेरा जय भीम, नमो बुद्धाय। और भारत की पहली जो क्रांतिकारी समाज सेविका थी और अध्यापिका थी सावित्रीबाई फुले, उनके आज जन्मदिन पर आप सबको मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाई। देखिए, हमारा जो समाज है, भारत का समाज जो है, वो एक पुरुष प्रधान समाज है, जिसमें जो औरत का जो अस्तित्व है पूरा, वो एक मर्द के अधीन रखा गया है। सो ये जो विचारधारा है, ये बहुत सदियों से चलती आ रही है और आज भी काफी हद तक ये बरकरार है। शहरों में थोड़ा सा ढील इस विचारधारा को मिला है, लेकिन ग्रामीण इलाकों में, क्षेत्रों में आज तक वैसा ही है। आप देखिए कि औरत की जो पहचान है हमारे समाज में, वो पुरुष के साथ उसके संबंध से होती है, कि वो उसकी बेटी है या उसकी माँ है, बहन है, बीवी है। तो हमारी संपूर्ण जो एक स्वतंत्रता है, किसी भी पैमाने पर हो, चाहे वो आर्थिक है, चाहे सामाजिक है, चाहे धार्मिक स्तर पर होती है, चाहे वो राजनैतिक हो या इवन नैतिक स्तर पर भी, वो एक तरह से निर्भर होते हैं हम अपने पुरुषों पर, अपने जो परिवार के पुरुष हैं उनके ऊपर। हमारे देश का जो संविधान है, उसमें हम देखते हैं कि बाबा साहब ने हमें बहुत सारे अधिकार जो हैं, पुरुषों के बराबर के अधिकार हमें उन्होंने दिए हैं। लेकिन बड़ी अफसोस की बात ये है कि उन अधिकारों को इस्तेमाल में लाने के लिए जो अवसर हैं, वो हमें पुरुषों के मुकाबले बहुत कम मिलते हैं। बचपन से ही हम देखते हैं कि जो लड़कियां हैं, बेटियां हैं, उनकी जो मानसिकता है, उनको हम डेवलप नहीं होने देते, रादर उनको हम दबा के रखते हैं। हर मामले में हम ये कहते हैं कि लड़कियां जो है वो लड़कों से कम हैं। यहाँ तक कि हम ये भी कहते हैं कि लड़कियां बुद्धिहीन हैं। जबकि अगर हम ये देखें कि विज्ञान ने ये सिद्ध किया है और बहुत साल पहले बुद्ध ने भी ये सिद्ध किया था कि जो आदमी और औरत है या लड़का और लड़की है, उनमें कोई सिवाय एक शारीरिक बनतर के कोई अंतर नहीं है। जो दिमाग है, जो बुद्धि है, वो दोनों की बराबर है, उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है। लेकिन फिर भी हमारे समाज में लड़कों को प्रोत्साहन ज्यादा मिलती है। हम जो मेहनत करते हैं, हम जो उपलब्धियां लेके आते हैं, हमारे जो हुनर है, उनको बढ़ावा बहुत कम दिया जाता है। और शुरू से ही हमारी जो एक आइडेंटिटी होती है, एक बड़ी लिमिटेड से दायरे में रख दी जाती है। खाने पीने पे रोक टोक है, पहरावे पे रोक टोक है, ज्यादा बोलने पे रोक टोक होती है। मैं बचपन में बहुत परेशान रहती थी इस विचारधारा से, जैसे जैसे बड़ी हुई तो मुझे बहुत चोट करती थी ये चीजें। तो ये क्यों है? ये क्यूरियोसिटी मेरे मन में हमेशा रहती थी कि ये क्यों है भाई, हमारे समाज में ही ऐसा क्यों है? अगर हम बाहर के देशों में देखें तो वहां पर ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है। औरत और मर्द जो है वो बिल्कुल एक समान है। ये विचारधारा जो है, ये अमानवीय या इतना जो फर्क है लड़के और लड़की में, ये क्यों है हमारे देश में? ऐसा क्यों है? अब इसे समझने
सॉरी मैं आपको इंटरप्ट कर रही हूँ।
जी जी, कोई बात नहीं।
कि आपका वीडियो हम देख सकते हैं?
एक मिनट, आप मुझे 1 मिनट देंगे? जी, अब बेहतर है?
मैं अभी भी
अब
नहीं
बेहतर है?
नहीं देख पा रही हूँ मैं आपको।
मैंने अपनी तरफ से ऑन कर दिया है
यस
वीडियो।
यस मैम, थैंक यू
ठीक
सो
है,
मच।
इज इट विजिबल? एम
Yes.
आई विजिबल?
Yes. Lovely to
So
see
shall
you.
I continue?
Yeah, please continue.
ओके। चलिए, मैं ये कह रही थी कि मुझे ये जो विचारधारा है, जो लड़के और लड़की में जो फर्क है, इसकी ये बहुत चोट करती थी शुरू में। तो ये क्यों है ऐसा? हमारा समाज ही ऐसा क्यों है और मुल्कों में ऐसा क्यों नहीं है? इतना ज्यादा मतलब फर्क एक लड़के लड़की में, कि एक मनुष्य है, एक मनुष्य के उसको अधिकार ही नहीं है, ऐसा क्यों है? जब मैं पढ़ी हुई, मैंने पढ़ना शुरू किया, तो मुझे ये बात समझ में आई जब मैंने खास तौर पे बाबा साहब और बुद्ध को पढ़ा, कि जो हमारा जो सामाजिक व्यवस्था है, जो ऊंच नीच की जो सामाजिक व्यवस्था है, उसको बरकरार रखने के लिए औरतों को गुलाम बनाया जाता है शुरू से ही। उनकी मानसिकता को, उनकी मूवमेंट को, हर एक चीज को जो है वो मर्दों के अधीन रखा जाता है। तो ये जो हमारी सामाजिक जो व्यवस्था ने जो एक तरह की सोच प्रणाली हम में मतलब बना दी है, इतनी नकारात्मक तरीके से वो विकसित कर दी है, कि आज हम देखते हैं औरतों को, लड़कियों को, उनका यौन शोषण बड़ा आम है, बहुत कॉमन चीज़ है। हर बात पे परिवारों में भी उनको मतलब आप देखिए जो दुत्कारा जाता है बात-बात पे। अ, ये चीज़ें हमें फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है, मतलब ये हमें बस एक रूटीन सा लगता है। तो हमारी मानसिकता ही इस तरह से विकसित हो चुकी है। यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें तो सावित्रीबाई फूले जो हैं, उन्होंने सबसे पहले हमें समझाया था कि लड़कियों के लिए शिक्षा का क्या महत्व है। और अगर लड़कियों को, औरतों को अपनी ये स्थिति जो है, इसको सुधारना है, तो उसके लिए जो शिक्षा है, वो एकमात्र और सबसे प्रभावशाली रास्ता रास्ता है। शिक्षा के हमें फ़ायदे क्या-क्या होते हैं? देखिए, शिक्षा हमारी बुद्धि का विकास करती है, हमें पशु से इंसान बनाती है, हमारे जीवन को एक दिशा देती है, हमारे भविष्य को एक आकार देती है। अगर हमारी बुद्धि का विकास सही तरीके से होता है, तो हम अपने लिए नई दिशाएँ और नए अवसर खुद पैदा कर सकते हैं। हम उतने कैपेबल बन सकते हैं कि अपने लिए जो है नई अपॉर्च्युनिटीज़ को क्रिएट कर सकें। शिक्षा जो है देखिए महिलाओं के लिए एक खुशहाल और एक स्वस्थ जीवन जीने का अवसर भी प्रदान करती है। यहाँ पर मैं थोड़ा-सा ज़ोर देना चाहूँगी जैसे-जैसे लड़कियाँ बड़ी होती हैं, देखिए शहरों में थोड़ा अलग है, खुला माहौल है, लेकिन जो ग्रामीण क्षेत्र हैं, वहाँ पर बहुत तंग सोच है। तो जैसे-जैसे लड़कियाँ बड़ी होती हैं, उनके शरीर के जो बनावट है, उसमें बदलाव आते हैं, बहुत ही कन्फ्यूज़न रहता है क्योंकि सही एक वैज्ञानिक जो इसके पीछे जो सोच है, जो हार्मोनल चेंजेज़ हैं, वो हमें बताने वाला कोई नहीं होता। तो एक कन्फ्यूजन रहती है हमारे मन में। हम भी बड़े हो रहे हैं, हमारे साथ जो लड़के हैं वो भी बड़े हो रहे हैं। गलत संगत में पड़ने के जो चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं, जो हमें पीरियड्स आते हैं उनके बारे में कोई नहीं बताता। रादर ये है कि हमारी ये जो सामाजिक व्यवस्था है उसमें इन चीज़ों को लेके औरतों के जो शरीर हैं या जो उनके जो बॉडी फ्लूइड्स होते हैं, उनको लेकर इतना रूढ़िवादी जो विचारधारा है या आप कह सकते हैं कि धारणाएँ बनी हुई हैं। जैसे पीरियड्स के दौरान आपको किचन में जाने नहीं देते हैं, आपको स्कूल से छुट्टी कर देते हैं, आपको अशुद्ध कहा जाता है। ये चीज़ें काफ़ी हद तक हमारे परिवारों में, शहरों में भी हैं, अंदर तक। चाहे हम ये कहते हैं कि हाँ, खुला माहौल आ गया है। लेकिन मैं समझती हूँ अगर हमें एक सही उम्र में एक सही जो शिक्षा मिलती है, सेक्स एजुकेशन मिलती है, तो हम बहुत सारी गलतियाँ करने से बचते हैं, जो यौन अपराध हो रहे हैं, वो भी कम होते हैं। हम ज ये जो धारणाएँ बनी हुई हैं, इनमें से सही-गलत का फ़र्क कर सकते हैं अगर हमारे पास शिक्षा है तो। शिक्षा देखिए हमारी हीन भावना को कम करती है। हमारे अंदर एक आत्मविश्वास वो पैदा करती है। आप एक ज़िम्मेदार कार्यकर्ता बनती हैं, आप एक ज़िम्मेदार नागरिक बनती हैं, आप अपने देश का नाम रोशन करती हैं, आप में अपने अधिकार जानने की एक वो उत्सुकता पैदा होती है जैसे-जैसे आप पढ़ती हैं। आप जो आत्मविश्वास धीरे-धीरे पैदा होता है, वो आपको आत्मनिर्भर बनाता है। आप अपनी रुचि के अनुसार अपना पेशा चुन सकती हैं। आप दूसरों की बात को एक बेहतर तरीके से और तेज़ी से समझ सकती हैं। जो आपकी शिक्षा है वो आपकी सोच को एक गहराई प्रदान करती है। हमारे किरदार को निखारती है शिक्षा। और हमारे अंदर एक गरिमा, आत्मसम्मान, प्रथा, सूचना जैसी चीजें वो पैदा करती है। हमारे अंदर एक नैतिक बल जो मोरालिटी होती है वो पैदा करती है। और अगर हम शिक्षित हैं, हम आगे चल के बाबा साहब को पढ़ेंगे, हम आगे चल के बुद्ध को पढ़ें, तो हमें ये समझ आता है कि उनके द्वारा जो मोरालिटी या जो एक नैतिकता का मार्ग उन्होंने हमें दिखाया है, वो औरतों के लिए सबसे उत्तम मार्ग है। तो अगर हम शिक्षित हैं, उनको पढ़ के हम अपना पूरा जो जीवन है, उसको एक दिशा दे सकते हैं मोरालिटी की तरफ, नैतिकता की तरफ। शिक्षा देखिए महिलाओं को अपने परिवार की जो आर्थिक स्थिति है, उसको बेहतर बनाने में सहयोगी बनाती है। हम समय के साथ-साथ अपने शौक विकसित कर सकते हैं, जो हमें और ज़्यादा क्रिएटिव या रचनात्मक बनाता है। हम जो मुझे लगता है सबसे ज़्यादा जो मुझे हेल्प किया है शिक्षा ने, हमें वो एक मौका देती है कि हम अपनी जो ये सामाजिक व्यवस्था है, उसकी जड़ को समझने में खुद को सक्षम बना सकें और उसको अपने निरंतर प्रयासों से उसको हिला सकें, जैसे सावित्री बाई ने हिलाया था। तो जब तक हम समस्या की जड़ तक नहीं पहुँचते, उसको समझते नहीं हैं, तब तक समस्या कोई भी खत्म नहीं होती, चाहे वो सामाजिक स्तर पे हो या आपकी पर्सनल कोई निजी समस्या हो। तो आप देखिए कि इसके लिए एक राइट विज़न होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, राइट व्यू, एक सही दृष्टि, जिसको हम सम्यक दृष्टि भी कहते हैं। बाबा साहब इसको बहुत मानते थे, सम्यक दृष्टि को। अगर आपके पास सही विज़न नहीं है, तो आप अपनी लाइफ़ को एक सही वो रास्ता नहीं दे सकते। आपको समझ नहीं आ सकता कि आप क्या कर रहे हैं या आपने क्या करना है आगे। तो यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं सावित्री बाई ने भी, उनके पास जो उन्होंने कल्टीवेट किया धीरे-धीरे शिक्षा के साथ अपना राइट विज़न, वहाँ से उन्होंने देखा कि महसूस किया कि जो अशिक्षा है, वो औरतों की जो स्थिति है, उसका जो कारण अशिक्षा है, तो अशिक्षित रहकर वो अपना जीवन नहीं सुधार सकती। उनको शिक्षा ग्रहण करनी पड़ेगी, साथ-साथ में उनको खुद लड़ना पड़ेगा। शिक्षित होके उनको लड़ना पड़ेगा आगे आके अपने अधिकारों के लिए। आपको शिक्षा बैठे-बैठे कुछ नहीं देगी। आपको उसको एज़ अ वेपन यूटिलाइज़ करना पड़ेगा। और उन्होंने सारी उम्र जो ये ज्ञान को देखिए फैलाया, कोने-कोने तक पहुँचाया। हर तरह की लड़की को उन्होंने पढ़ाया, चाहे नीचे वर्ग की थी, चाहे वो ब्राह्मण की लड़की थी। उन्होंने कभी डिफरेंशिएट नहीं किया इस चीज़ में। तो अब देखिए जैसे-जैसे हम पढ़ते हैं, एक कक्षा से दूसरी में जाएँगे, फिर हम कॉलेज में जाते हैं, फिर हम प्रोफेशनल कॉलेजेस में जाते हैं, फिर हम आगे पढ़ते हैं, जैसे-जैसे हमें अपॉर्च्युनिटीज़ जो मिलती हैं, तो हम देखते हैं कि शिक्षा हमारे लिए बहुत सारे अवसर खोलती जाती है। अ, अब मैं अगर ये कहूँ कि शिक्षा ने मुझे कैसे आत्मनिर्भर बनाया, तो मैं थोड़ा-सा बचपन में जाऊँगी। बहुत छोटी थी मैं, 11-12 साल की, तकरीबन 28 साल पहले की बात है, जब मुझे टाइप 1 डायबिटीज़ हुआ था। ये एक बच्चों की शुगर जिसे हम कह देते हैं, वो बीमारी है। इसमें आपको इसका इलाज, आज तो कोई सफल इलाज नहीं ढूँढा गया है, और इसमें आपको दिन में बहुत कई बार आपको इंसुलिन के इंजेक्शन खुद लेने पड़ते हैं। आपको 6 से 8 बार शुगर अपना चेक करना पड़ता है। आपको एक फिक्स रूटीन में रहना पड़ता है, आप उससे बाहर नहीं जा सकते। बहुत ज़्यादा ये जो बीमारी है आपके सारे शरीर को अफ़ेक्ट करती है, सारे ऑर्गन्स को, आपके मानसिकता पे बहुत एक नेगेटिव वो चोट करती है। और बचपन में भी मैंने बहुत ही लिमिटेड सा एक मतलब लाइफ़स्टाइल मेरा रहा है, इस टाइम पे ये करना, उस टाइम पे ये करना। और ज़्यादा खेल-कूद नहीं कर पाती थी मैं, एक तो बीमारी की वज़ह से। बच्चों के साथ बाहर खेलना मतलब मुश्किल था मेरे लिए। कुछ भी, जैसे आप कहें कि बच्चों का जैसे मन क्यूरियस होता है कि आप उठ के ये कर लें, वो कर लें, वो नहीं था। एक बहुत लिमिटेड सी लाइफ़ रही है। और एक तो देखिए बीमारी की वज़ह से बहुत बंदिशें थी, थक जाती थी मैं ज़्यादा, पढ़ाई में ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं थी, वो भी इफ़ेक्ट हो रही थी मेरी। तो लड़की की वजह से एक बंदिशें होती हैं, बीमारी की वजह से हमारे समाज में बंदिशें होती हैं। फिर एक लड़की को अगर बीमारी है, उसकी बंदिशें हैं। फिर अगर आप एक दलित लड़की हैं, उसकी अलग बंदिशें होती हैं। तो ये सब जो चीज़ें हैं, इसके साथ-साथ जो मेरे परिवार का रवैया रहा या जो हमारे सगे-संबंधियों का बहुत ही नकारात्मक रहा। तो स्कूल से भी, घरों में भी, फ्रेंड से भी, सबसे मैं तकरीबन यही सुनती रही हूँ कि ये लड़की कुछ कर नहीं सकती है अपनी ज़िंदगी में, बहुत जल्दी मर जाएगी ये, या इसकी शादी नहीं होगी, इसको कोई लूला-लंगड़ा मिलेगा, इसके बच्चे ढंग से पैदा नहीं होंगे। एक आप ऑलरेडी परेशान हैं बहुत सारी समस्याओं से, और दूसरा आपको समाज सिर्फ़ इसलिए कि आप लड़की हैं और बीमार हैं, आपको एक तरफ वो एक्सक्लूड करता है, सोशल में भी, फैमिली में भी। तो यहाँ पर मेरे फ़ादर ने मेरा बहुत साथ दिया। उन्होंने मुझे याद है, मुझे बचपन में बुक्स लाके देते थे, बहुत सारी पढ़ने के लिए, ऑन वेरियस सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक म्यूज़िक, आर्ट, जनरल नॉलेज, हिस्ट्री, सब कुछ। तो वो मैंने जो एक कल्टीवेट की है अपनी रीडिंग की हैबिट, उसने मुझे बहुत मदद किया है थ्रू आउट माय लाइफ़। धीरे धीरे मैं अपनी उदासीनता से बाहर आने लगी, मैं पढ़ने लगी, पढ़ाई में अच्छी हो गई। मैंने अपना 10th क्लियर किया आईसीएसई में और मेरा मुझे याद है तब 85% आए थे 10th में और सभी बहुत हैरान थे कि इसके इतने मार्क्स कैसे आ गए इस लड़की के। उसके बाद मैंने +1 में मेडिकल लिया, मैंने पीएमटी दिया, फिर मैंने बीडीएस क्लियर किया, अपना बैचलर्स किया। जब मैंने बीडीएस कर लिया तो मेरे सामने बहुत बड़ी 2 समस्याएँ आ गईं। एक तो ये था कि मेरी जो मेडिसिन्स का खर्चा था वो बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा था। मैं नहीं चाहती थी कि वो मेरे पेरेंट्स को या ख़ास तौर पे मेरे पिताजी को उठाना पड़े। तो मैं आर्थिक तौर पर बहुत जल्दी चाहती थी कि मैं फटाफट काम करूँ, पैसे कमाऊँ। दूसरी समस्या ये थी कि जो गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स थी, उनका जो वो दायरा था मेरे लिए कम हो गया। मेडिकल फिटनेस के बेसिस पे मैं गवर्नमेंट जॉब नहीं कर पाती थी। मेरा आईपीएस करने का मन था, मैं पुलिस में जाना चाहती थी, लेकिन वो भी नहीं कर पाई मेडिकल ग्राउंड्स पे, वहाँ पे भी रिजेक्ट हुई। तो मैंने फिर अपना एक प्राइवेट क्लिनिक खोलने का सोचा और फटाफट मैंने 2-3 साल बहुत मेहनत की, अपने जो टीचर्स थे उनके पास जाके काम सीखा, हॉस्पिटल्स में काम किया, मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स सीखी, पेशेंट मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स सीखी, स्पीकिंग स्किल, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, ये सब सीखी 2-3 साल में। अपना क्लिनिक स्टार्ट किया, लोन लेके मेरे फादर ने बहुत मदद की, फिर मैंने धीरे-धीरे लोन चुकाया अपना। और एक इमोशनल सेटबैक मुझे लगा 2011 में जब मेरे फादर की डेथ हो गई। तब मुझे मैं बहुत अकेली हो गई बिकॉज़ फैमिली में और मुझे कभी कोई सपोर्ट नहीं था, ना ही आज तक कोई है। तो 2 चीज़ें मुझे बहुत वहाँ पे मुझे हेल्प किया। एक तो मेरी रीडिंग की जो हैबिट थी, जो मैंने बचपन से कल्टीवेट की थी, मैंने पढ़ना नहीं छोड़ा। दूसरा, मैं घर में नहीं बैठी कि मैं अब काम नहीं करूँगी, मुझसे नहीं होता। मैंने बीमारी को कभी आड़े नहीं आने दिया अपने लाइफ़ में, अपनी अपनी पॉज़िटिव एक थिंकिंग में। मैं काम पे जाती रही, अपना रूटीन में सब बरकरार रखा मैंने। अपना सेहत की तरफ ध्यान दिया और पढ़ना नहीं छोड़ा। इस दौरान मैंने 6-7 साल बहुत अच्छे-अच्छे विद्वानों को, बाबा साहब को पढ़ा, बुद्ध को पढ़ा, सावित्रीबाई फूले उनके जीवन संघर्ष को पढ़ा, ज्योतिराव फूले को पढ़ा, एम.एन. रॉय पढ़ा, कार्ल मार्क्स पढ़ा और फिर मैंने लिखना शुरू किया धीरे-धीरे। तो आज काफ़ी सारे आर्टिकल्स मेरे ऑनलाइन मैगज़ीन्स में छपते हैं, जो सोशल इश्यूज़ पर हैं, औरतों के इश्यूज़ पर हैं और बड़ी खुशी होती है मुझे कि पहले मैं दूसरों की रचनाएँ पढ़ती थी, आज मेरी रचनाएँ लोग पढ़ रहे हैं और एक हिम्मत भी मिलती है। आज मैं सोच रही थी आज सुबह ही कि मैं इस साल एक किताब लिखूँ और अ, शिक्षा का जो सबसे मुझे जो बेनिफिट हुआ है, वो मेरी बीमारी के हिसाब से हुआ है। मतलब मैंने अपनी बीमारी के बारे में थॉरोली पढ़ा कि ये क्या चीज़ है। ये किस तरह से मेरी बॉडी में जो है वो उसको अफ़ेक्ट कर रही है। मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ कि मैं इसके इफ़ेक्ट जो है नेगेटिव इफ़ेक्ट, वो मैं अपनी बॉडी पे किस तरह से कम कर सकती हूँ। व्हाट शुड आई डू मतलब टू लिव अ हेल्दी एंड अ हैप्पी लाइफ। तो अ एक रूटीन जो मुझे मतलब अपनी बीमारी की वजह से बनाना पड़ा और एक डिसिप्लिन जो मुझे एक लाइफ बनानी पड़ी, उसने बहुत मदद की। आपका कंसंट्रेशन बहुत बेहतर है, वो जो हो जाता है। सो आज मैं देखती हूँ कि इस स्टेज पर काफ़ी सालों की प्रैक्टिस के बाद मैंने सुबह उठ के मैं अपना पूरा दिनचर्या प्लान करती हूँ कि मुझे क्या करना है। सारा पेशेंट की जो अपॉइंटमेंट्स है, सुबह 10 से 8 बजे तक मैं अपना काम करती हूँ क्लिनिक पे। फ्री टाइम मिलता है, पढ़ती हूँ, लिखती हूँ। अपनी बीमारी को मैंने कभी अपने जो अच्छी ज़िंदगी जीना या एक सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट के साथ जीना या फिर आगे बढ़ने की जो इच्छा होती है, उसके बीच में मैंने कभी आड़े नहीं आने दिया। तो चाहे एक बहुत दायरा मतलब दायरे में सीमित रह के मैंने काम किया है। लेकिन मैं समझती हूँ कि अगर आपका दायरा सीमित भी है, तो भी अगर आप मेहनत करना नहीं छोड़ते, आपको एक कंटिन्यूटी मेहनत में बनानी पड़ेगी। एक डिसिप्लिन आपकी लाइफ में लाना पड़ेगा। अगर आप वो नहीं छोड़ते हैं, तो आप कामयाब होते हैं। आप उस दायरे को धीरे-धीरे बड़ा होते देखेंगे। आप देखेंगे उस दायरे में और अवसर आप क्रिएट आपके लिए हो रहे हैं और एक स्टेज में और अवसर आपके लिए खुद चल के आपके पास आएँगे। तो मेहनत करना मत छोड़िए। एक दायरे में रहकर भी हम बहुत सारे दायरे तोड़ सकते हैं और दायरे तोड़ना बहुत ज़रूरी है औरतों के लिए, तभी जो है वो सोच बदलती है। तो ये दायरे की बात मैं यहाँ पे इसलिए कर रही हूँ क्योंकि हमारे समाज में औरतों की ज़िंदगी वैसे ही बहुत एक दायरे में होती है, आपके परिवारों में या शादी में। प्रोफ़ेशनल लेवल तक जाने का मौका बहुत कम मिलता है। तो कोई बात नहीं अगर आपकी फैमिली से कोई आपको नहीं सपोर्ट कर रहा है या आप एक दायरे में भी हैं, किसी भी तरह में आपकी फाइनेंशियल रिस्ट्रेन हो सकती है, कुछ भी हो सकता है। अपने आप को सीमित मत करिए अपने लिमिटेशंस को, चाहे उस दायरे में रहिए, मेहनत करते रहिए, अपने आप रास्ते बनते हैं। और ये तभी पॉसिबल है अगर आपके पास पहले बेसिक शिक्षा होगी, आप धीरे-धीरे पढ़ते जाएँगे। तो जो लड़कियाँ स्टूडेंट्स हैं या जो बच्चियाँ हैं जो आज हमें देख रही हैं, लास्ट में मैं यही कहना चाहूंगी आप सबसे कि सपने देखिए, बहुत जरूरी है। बहुत मेहनत कीजिए अपने सपनों को पूरा करने के लिए, ये बहुत जरूरी है। लड़कों से खुद को कम कभी नहीं समझना है, क्योंकि आप नहीं हैं। आप लड़कों से कम किसी भी फील्ड में नहीं है। बुद्धि का विकास करिए, अच्छी अच्छी आदतें जो है वो आप डेवलप करिए, क्रिएटिव स्किल्स आप डेवलप करिए। आप अपना समय बर्बाद मत करिए, अपने किरदार में नैतिकता वो पैदा करिए। और ये जो आजकल हम फिल्म्स देख रहे हैं, टीवी सीरियल्स देख रहे हैं, या जो वीडियोस हम यूट्यूब पे देखते हैं, इसमें एक बहुत ही लिमिटेड सा दायरा मतलब औरत का दिखाते हैं, सिर्फ उसके सौंदर्य तक। इन्हें मत देखिए, अपनी बुद्धि के जोर पे आप आगे आइए, ये बहुत जरूरी है। इंटेलेक्ट पैदा कीजिए अपने अंदर, ये बहुत जरूरी है। कामयाबी को पैसों में मत देखिए, प्रशंसा में ढूंढिए। मेहनत करिए, बहुत मेहनत करिए। जब आप एक स्तर पर पहुंच जाते हैं, जब आप आत्मनिर्भर बन जाते हैं, जब आप अपने फैसले खुद लेने के लिए सक्षम हो जाते हैं, तो अपनी जो आपका फर्ज है समाज की तरफ, वो मत भूलिए आप। ये बहुत जरूरी है। और यही सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि जो है, ये सावित्रीबाई फूले के जो उनका जीवन का संघर्ष है, जिन्होंने हमें असली महत्व जो शिक्षा का है वो समझाया है, तो ये सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि उनके लिए होगी। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मुझे समय देने के लिए और मुझे सुनने के लिए।
थैंक यू सो मच अमृतपाल कौर जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। वेरी इंस्पायरिंग। और your emphasis on education, gender discrimination, पर हाँ, being confident about our bodies, about our self-worth, very very important, being a girl, a woman. So thank you so much.
Yes.
बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे जुड़ने के लिए आज।
शुक्रिया, शुक्रिया आपका, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, शुक्रिया।
And I would like to quote Savitrimai Phule again here. After this inspiring story, is we shall overcome and success will be ours in the future. The future belongs to us. That's what she said. So moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Disha Wadekar. Disha Wadekar, a little bit about Disha Wadekar. She is an advocate in Supreme Court of India, New Delhi. Her work involves representation in cases of campus discrimination, atrocities against scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, forest rights claims, and custodial torture and deaths. She has also headed a legal resource center set up under a project by London School of Economics. Over to you, Disha Wadekar.
Thanks. Utpal,
Yes, I can hear you, Disha.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. Hi.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is an amazing opportunity for me and an amazing day to be sharing the platform with such beautiful, amazing, inspiring women, and on the occasion of Savitrimai's Jayanti. Jai Savitri to everybody. मैं थोड़ा इंग्लिश और थोड़ा हिंदी में बात करूंगी. आई थिंक थोड़ा सबको समझ आए इसलिए. हम एजुकेशन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, एजुकेशन की इम्पोर्टेंस के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. और मुझे लगता है कि मेरे लाइफ में जो सबसे ज्यादा जिन्होंने एजुकेशन की इम्पोर्टेंस को मुझे सिखाया, वो दो आदिवासी महिलाएं थी, पारधी समाज की महिलाएं. एक मेरी नानी लीलावती और मेरी माँ शारदा. और मुझे आई थिंक उनके बारे में मैं बात करना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि मेरी नानी जो है, पारधी समाज, जो लोग जिनको पता नहीं है, तो पारधी समाज इज अ कम्युनिटी विच इज एन एक्स क्रिमिनल ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी, आदिवासी कम्युनिटी है, बट जिसको क्रिमिनलाइज किया गया है. और इतना क्रिमिनलाइजेशन है और इतना सोशो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन खराब है इस कम्युनिटी का, कि पढ़ना लिखना, एजुकेट, एजिटेट, ऑर्गेनाइज, ये जो ये मंत्रा है जिसे हम बार बार दोहराते हैं अम्बेडकराइट मूवमेंट में, फुले अम्बेडकराइट मूवमेंट में, वो पारधी कम्युनिटी तक पहुंचा नहीं है. बट मेरी नानी जो थी वो 10वीं पास थी उस जमाने में. अमरनेर नाम के खानदेश के एक बहुत छोटे से गांव से वो आती थी, बट पढ़ाई में अच्छी थी. तो उन्होंने 10वीं पास कर ली थी. उनकी शादी नहीं हो रही थी क्योंकि वो ज्यादा पढ़ ली थी. एंड उनको जब उनकी शादी हो गई और उनको एक कॉल आया टीचर का कॉल आया था। और तभी मेरे नाना भी अप्लाई कर रहे थे टीचर के लिए, टीचर की जॉब के लिए, बट उनको कॉल नहीं आया था। तो वो एक जेलसी और वो ईगो इशू बन गया था, और नानी को उन्होंने फिर आगे कंटिन्यू नहीं करने दिया। तो वो जॉब वो नहीं कर पाई थी। बट वो जो एक वो क्या कह सकते हैं उसको, दैट डिससैटिस्फैक्शन वाज ऑलवेज देयर इन हर हार्ट, दैट उनको वो करना था, उनको जॉब करना था, उनको एजुकेशन के फील्ड में जाना था। बट शी चैनलाइज दैट एंड शी सॉ दैट दैट पाथ फॉर हर किड्स। तो उनका ये सपना था कि उनके जो बच्चे थे, उनके 5 बच्चे थे, और 5 बच्चों में से उनका ये सपना था कि उसमें से एक डॉक्टर बने, एक इंजीनियर बने, एक वकील बने। तो ये उनके बच्चों में से सब लोग डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, वकील है आज। तो और स्पेशली जो मेरी माँ थी और मेरी मौसी जो थी, द वुमेन इन द फैमिली, उनको पढ़ाने का बहुत ज्यादा जिम्मा मेरी नानी ने लिया। नाना जी इतना उसके फॉर नहीं थे, उनका ये था कि जल्दी जल्दी इनकी शादी कर दो और इनको हटा दो घर से। तो नानी इंश्योर्ड कि माँ का एडमिशन हो। मम्मी का एडमिशन तब पुणे के सिम्बायोसिस लॉ कॉलेज में हुआ था, और जब उनका एडमिशन हुआ था तब नाना और घर के सब लोग उन्हें दे वर नॉट सेंडिंग हर टू पुणे, बट I think my nanny, she fought a lot for that, and she sent her to Pune. She faced a lot of brunt for that. मम्मी जब गई तब मम्मी और my father actually they fell in love, and they came from different castes, and they wanted to get married. They went to the parents and they said कि हमें शादी करनी है। किसी ने अप्रूव नहीं किया, और तब मम्मी को वापस लेके आए थे गांव। उनका एजुकेशन सारा खत्म कर दिया था वहीं के वहीं, और उन्हें नानी को बहुत गालियां पड़ी थी कि हम बता रहे थे कि लड़की बिगड़ जाएगी, आपने उसको वहां पुणे जैसे शहर में भेज दिया है। तो मम्मी का एजुकेशन खत्म कर दिया, घर पे रखा गया मम्मी को। और तब नानी ये किस्सा मुझे माँ मेरी बहुत सुनाती है, और वो उन्हें बहुत इंस्पायर करता है वो अपनी लाइफ में, और मुझे भी बहुत इंस्पायर करता है कि नानी ने जब मम्मी को बंद कर दिया था घर में, तो उन्होंने चुपके से मम्मी को वो लेके गई थी जळगांव में, जो वहाँ पे थोड़ा सिटी टाइप है, शहर है, जहाँ पे डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन का कोर्स था। और नानी चाहती थी कि कुछ भी हो, ठीक है, घर में बैठ रही है, पर इसका एजुकेशन रुकना नहीं चाहिए। तो उन्होंने मम्मी को वो चुपके से सबकी नजर के आड़ लेके गई थी, और एडमिशन कराया था डिस्टेंस में। और जब एडमिशन डिस्टेंस में कराया, मैं वापस आई, तो बहुत ज्यादा मेरी नानी ने अब्यूज, वायलेंस, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस फेस किया था, और वो वैसे ही उन्होंने अपने लाइफ में बहुत ज्यादा डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस फेस किया था। मम्मी का फिर जो भी ये किस्सा था, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, माय मदर देन वेंट टू पुणे अगेंस्ट हर पेरेंट्स विशेस, एंड शी गॉट मैरिड टू द मैन शी लव्ड. My father comes from a Shudra weaving community, but और मम्मी पारधी कम्युनिटी से आती है। तो बट वो हायरार्की जो है, दैट्स हाउ कास्ट प्लेज, ऐसी कोई बहुत बड़ी कास्ट नहीं है वीविंग कम्युनिटी, बट पापा की साइड की फैमिली ने निकाल दिया उनको घर घर से, दोनों को। तो मेरा जो अपब्रिंगिंग पूरा हुआ है वो मेरे नानी हाल में हुआ है। मेरी नानी, मेरे मामा और इन्हीं के बीच मेरा पूरा अपब्रिंगिंग हुआ है। I started out from, I was born in a slum in Pune, घोरपड़े पेट में। और घोरपड़े पेट मैं बताना चाहूंगी वो एरिया है कि जहाँ पे फूले जी, सावित्रीमाई फूले और महात्मा फूले ने पहला स्कूल शुरू किया था। उनका घर था गंजपेट जिसको कहते हैं, और आज हम उसे गंजपेट नहीं कहते, हम उसको महात्मा फूले पेट कहते हैं। तो वहां पे मेरा पूरा अपब्रिंगिंग हुआ। फुलेवाड़ा में मैंने खेल खेले हैं। मेरे माँ बाप पूरे फुले अम्बेडकराइट आइडियोलॉजी और इससे आते हैं, तो मेरा पूरा अपब्रिंगिंग वैसे रहा है। मेरे लिए ये कुछ अलग नहीं था मेरा। दिस वाज माय फैमिली, द मूवमेंट हैज ऑलवेज बीन माय फैमिली। बट हम वहां पे जब मेरा जन्म हुआ फुले गंजपेट में, तो वहाँ मेरे मम्मी का ये था कि कुछ भी हो, शी इज अ वेरी एम्बिशियस वुमन। आई हैव नॉट सीन दैट एम्बिशन इन माय फादर। मेरे माँ का ये था कि कुछ भी हो, आई विल नॉट रेज माय किड्स इन अ स्लम, एंड ऐसी दैट वाज नॉट समथिंग दैट शी हैड अगेंस्ट slums, but I think it was mostly that the kind of dignity that one should have in life. I think she was very hell bent on that we need to give a dignified life to ourselves and to our kids. तो मम्मी ने म्हाडा के जैसे लो इनकम हाउसिंग के एड्स आते हैं, लॉटरी आती है, तो उसमें उन्होंने अप्लाई किया था पापा को बिना बताए. पापा ने बहुत चिल्लाया था. ही वाज लाइक वी कांट अफोर्ड दिस, व्हाई यू डूइंग इट. हमारा वहां पे नंबर लग गया. वी गॉट अ हाउस. इट वाज अ 1 room kitchen. Very small house. But we had a dignified life in that. I was raised in that house. My father did not come to that house for 2 days because he was so upset with my mother that we can't afford it, and why you doing this. So I think that has been, these are the kind of women who have been in my life and who have inspired me. I think very strong, very ambitious women who believed in education a lot. And women who believed in giving their kids a dignified life. Right. So ये actually मैं जब हम जहाँ रह रहे थे नागपुर चार में, नागपुर चार पुणे का एक एरिया है जिनको पुणे के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत पता है. वहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा अम्बेडकराइट लोगों का प्रेजेंस है, बहुत अम्बेडकराइट मूवमेंट का प्रेजेंस है, बहुत सारे कॉर्पोरेटर्स पॉलिटिशियंस उस एरिया से आए हैं. एंड हमारे घर में आना जाना रहता था. पापा के बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स अम्बेडकराइट मूवमेंट से जुड़े थे. सो मुझे लगता है कि जय भीम जो है बोलना, उसे समझने से पहले मैंने बोलना सीखा था बचपन में ही. और वही एक रहा है, उस किस्म का अपब्रिंगिंग रहा है. मुझे सावित्री माई की और फूले जी की और बाबा साहेब की एजुकेशन की स्टोरी, उनके स्ट्रगल्स की स्टोरी, उन्हें स्कूल में कैसे तंग किया गया था, सावित्री बाई और फूले जी को क्या प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करने पड़े जब उन्होंने स्कूल बनाया. लहू जी वस्ताद के बारे में मैंने सीखा और पढ़ा. मेरे लिए पुणे का हिस्ट्री जो था, वो जैसे समझते हैं लोग कि पेशवाई का हिस्ट्री है, मेरे लिए तो पूरा बहुजन हिस्ट्री था, मेरे लिए अपने लोगों का हिस्ट्री था. So I have never known Pune to be a place of Peshwai or a place of Brahminical culture. For me, it has been a place of Bahujan culture where I grew up. So as in how I grew up, my father wanted to put me in a Marathi school क्योंकि आजू बाजू जो नेबर्स थे वहाँ पे हमारे सब लोग अपने बच्चों को मराठी स्कूल में डाल रहे थे. और मम्मी का ये कहना था कि मैं मेरी लड़की को इंग्लिश स्कूल में डालूंगी, और बस कोई इंग्लिश स्कूल में ही नहीं, कोई अंग्रेजी मीडियम स्कूल में नहीं. आई वांट टू पुट हर इन अ कॉन्वेंट स्कूल, क्योंकि उनका ये था कि इंग्लिश जो स्किल है वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है लाइफ में आगे बढ़ने के लिए, और बहुत अननेसेसरीली आपको अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट बनाता है. और ये मम्मी ने फेस किया था अपने कॉलेज लाइफ में, तो उन्होंने वो अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस फेस किया था. सो शी wanted that I have that skill. So she went to dad and she put me in an English medium school and not just English school. और बहुत दूर था, मम्मी मुझे लेके जाती थी स्कूल. मेरे स्टार्टिंग के 4-5 जो साल थे बहुत डिफिकल्ट गए, क्योंकि मेरे इर्द गिर्द कोई अंग्रेजी नहीं बोलता था, और कोप नहीं कर पाती, समझ नहीं आता था. वैसे तो मैं बहुत बातूनी हूँ, मैं बहुत स्टार्टिंग करती थी बचपन से ही, बट स्कूल में जाके मैं एकदम शांत हो गई. आई थिंक बिकॉज मैं कोप नहीं कर पा रही थी. धीरे धीरे आई डेवलप एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड कंफर्ट लेवल विद इंग्लिश. 5th-6th स्टैंडर्ड से मैं थोड़ा बेहतर करने लगी, इतना बेहतर करने लगी कि मुझे याद है कि मैं 7वीं कक्षा में थी और आई स्टूड सेकंड इन द क्लास. फिर मैंने रेसिटेशन कॉम्पिटिशन में पार्ट लेना शुरू किया, मैंने डिबेट्स में पार्ट लेना शुरू किया. स्कूल में वो एक एनवायरनमेंट मुझे के लिए मिला. मेरे इन एंड अराउंड जो लोग थे वो बिल्कुल मेरे तरह नहीं थे, बट मैं बहुत सीख रही थी उस बैकग्राउंड से. 12th, 11th, 12th आई डिड साइंस बिकॉज मार्क्स अच्छे थे, तो वो आई थिंक दैट लॉजिक इज देयर कि आपको मार्क्स अगर अच्छे हैं तो आप 11वीं 12वीं में साइंस लो. मेरा वैसे कोई लाइकिंग नहीं था, बट आई टुक साइंस 11th and 12th. और आई थिंक 12वीं जब हुई, 12वीं कक्षा में मुझे अच्छे मार्क्स आए, तो मम्मी और पापा का ये कहना था, तब हम पुणे में ही थे, तो उनका ये कहना था कि आप आईटी बूम है, तो आप इंजीनियरिंग में एडमिशन ले लो। तो उस टाइम पे मुझे ये याद है कि मुझे ENTC का फुल फॉर्म ही नहीं पता था। ENTC स्टैंड्स फॉर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड टेलीकम्युनिकेशन। तो मैंने ENTC में एडमिशन ले लिया इंजीनियरिंग में, पुणे के कॉलेज में, और मैंने कंप्लीट किया अपना इंजीनियरिंग। बट आई थिंक ऑल थ्रू आउट माई इंजीनियरिंग आई न्यू दैट दिस इज नॉट मी. In fact, I had distinction throughout my engineering. I never had a drop or KT, anything. But there were other things. मेरे especially college के growing years में मैंने बहुत सारा थिएटर किया. मैं बहुत सारा मूवमेंट से जुड़ी, बहुत मोर्चे, धरने, आंदोलन, ये सब मैंने कॉलेज के इयर्स में किया. और मुझे लगा कि मैं आई विल नॉट मेक अ गुड इंजीनियर. मेरे मेरे मार्क्स है, मैं मेरा प्लेसमेंट अमेजोन में हुआ था हैदराबाद के, और मैं शायद 1-2 साल वहां पे काम करके मैं जा सकती हूँ यूएस, जैसे सब लोग करते हैं. आई कैन डू एन MS, I can get an MS degree, I can get a decent job in US, settle there and have that life. But that is not something that was pulling me or attracting me. Also because मेरे parents ने जिस किस्म का life जिया है, दोनों वकील है, बट फिर भी उनका जो सामाजिक काम है और मूवमेंट के साथ जो जुड़ना है वो था. और इस वजह से मैं शायद वो इमेजिन ही नहीं कर पा रही थी कि मैं कोई ऐसी लाइफ, एक सेटल्ड इंजीनियर वाली लाइफ यूएस या यूरोप में जी सकूं. जब इंजीनियरिंग कंप्लीट मैंने किया, एक लोकल कॉलेज से किया. मैं ये आपको बताना चाहूंगी कि मेरा पूरा जो एजुकेशन है, it's never been some fancy college. I have not gone to an IIT, I have not gone to an NLU. I have gone to local colleges. मैंने इंजीनियरिंग जो एक लोकल कॉलेज से किया, जब इंजीनियरिंग खत्म किया तो मैंने ये डिसाइड किया कि प्लेसमेंट तो हो गया है, बट नाउ मुझे यूपीएससी करना था. तो मैंने एक्चुअली ये शायद मेरे दिमाग में आइडिया आ गया कि अच्छा, यूपीएससी के तैयारी को तो टाइम लगेगा, बट उस तैयारी के बीच में आई कैन वेरी वेल डू लॉ, क्योंकि लॉ के लिए एक नेचुरल एफिलिएशन था मेरे मन में. And I took admission for law. Law के लिए मैं भी I think I took an admission in a very local college in Pune. मतलब आपने तो ILS का वगैरह नाम सुना होगा, सिम्बाइसिस का नाम सुना होगा. मैं एक बहुत छोटे से SSMS लॉ कॉलेज से मैंने लॉ किया. और मैं जब लॉ कर रही थी, यूपीएससी की तैयारी कर रही थी, आई फेल्ड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स. मैंने यूपीएससी में एक्चुअली दैट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम आई वाज फेसिंग एंड टेस्टिंग फेलियर, जब मैं यूपीएससी की तैयारी कर रही थी. और मैंने 3 अटेम्प्ट्स दिए. मेरी प्रीलिम क्लियर होती थी, प्रीलिम नहीं होती थी तो मेंस नहीं होती थी, मेंस होती थी तो इंटरव्यू नहीं. ये सब चल रहा था. एंड एट वन पॉइंट इट स्टार्टेड अफेक्टिंग मी मेंटली आल्सो, बिकॉज बहुत आइसोलेटेड फील करने लगी थी. और आई देन डिसाइडेड दैट नथिंग कैन बी डन एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ योर मेंटल हेल्थ. तो वो एक बहुत डिफिकल्ट फेज था मेरे लिए कि every I could have had a life which was a settled life, but I chose this, which was very unsettling, a life where I chose a risk and I have failed. तो वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट फेज था मेरे लिए. दैट्स व्हेन जब मेरा लॉ खत्म हुआ, मैंने डिसाइड किया कि मैं घर नहीं बैठूंगी. आई विल नॉट स्टडी ओनली स्टडी एनी मोर. आई देन स्टार्टेड गोइंग टू द कोर्ट, पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट, और मैंने केसेस लेने शुरू किए. स्टार्टिंग में जो मेरे पास जब केसेस आ रहे थे, तब ये होता था कि क्लाइंट्स, केसेस तो आते थे. आई थिंक व्हेन यू आर अ बहुजन लॉयर, यू गेट मैटर्स, यू गेट ब्रीफ्स, बट यू डोंट हैव मनी एंड पेइंग क्लाइंट. तो बहुत बार ऐसा होता था कि क्लाइंट को आप आर्ग्यू करते थे कोर्ट में उनके लिए, और आप बाहर आते थे तो चाय भी आप ही को पिलानी पड़ती है क्लाइंट को. इतना it's that difficult for a बहुजन lawyer, especially in the district courts, to survive. So जब मैंने केसेस स्टार्ट किए, मैंने अट्रोसिटीज के केसेस लिए, फॉरेस्ट राइट्स के, जैसे मैम ने बताया, मैंने केसेस वो लिए. एंड दीज वर ऑल क्लाइंट्स फ्रॉम दलित, बहुजन, आदिवासी कम्युनिटीज, बिकॉज आई डिडंट वांट, मेरे दिमाग में बहुत क्लियर था कि मुझे कोई कॉर्पोरेट लॉ प्रैक्टिस नहीं करनी है. दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. मैं आई थिंक 2017 में लंदन स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स का प्रोजेक्ट था. इट वाज कॉल्ड दलित ह्यूमन राइट्स डिफेंडर्स प्रोजेक्ट, और उसमें एक लीगल रिसोर्स सेंटर सेटअप करना था. एंड आई वाज हेडिंग दैट लीगल रिसोर्स सेंटर, और वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा हमने काम किया लीगल एड प्रोवाइड करने का, लीगल एडवाइस प्रोवाइड करने का, लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेशन प्रोवाइड कर रहे थे. वी वर गोइंग टू कोर्ट्स, वी वर गोइंग टू डिफरेंट कमीशंस, एंड वी वर हेल्पिंग पीपल get good legal representation in courts and commissions, and these are all people from marginalized Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasi communities. I think that's when 2018 Bhima Koregaon happened, at this very ghastly attack and atrocity, mass atrocity, social boycott that happened in Bhima Koregaon, and that we all know of, and that really hurt all of us of what had happened. और तब Bhima Koregaon Judicial Commission बैठा था. I think I was one of the youngest and the only female lawyer actually who was appearing before the Bhima Koregaon Judicial Commission. और जैसे मैम बता रही थी, अमृता मैम बता रही थी कि आपको देखने का आप औरत हो इसलिए देखने का एक नजरिया तो होता ही है कि you are looked as someone who is not as capable, someone who is not as intelligent. बहुत बार आप आर्ग्यू करते हो कोर्ट में, आपके पीछे बैकबाइटिंग करते हैं लोग, आप जैसे दिखते हो उसके ऊपर कमेंट करते हैं. ये आई डोंट थिंक दिस हैपेंस विद मेन कि उनको अपनी इंटेलिजेंस को प्रूव करना पड़ता है हर मोमेंट पे. बट एज वुमेन वी हैव टू डू दैट, एंड स्पेशली एज वुमेन हु स्टेप आउट, who are in courts, who are in public life and in social life. तो ये आई थिंक भीमा कोरेगांव के जो जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी कमीशन बैठा था, तो इनफैक्ट बिकॉज आई वाज आल्सो वेरी यंग, आई वाज आल्सो द ओनली वुमन, एक देखने का नजरिया जब मैं आर्ग्यू करती थी तो इवन जजेस का ऐसा था. मुझे एक बार जज ने कहा था, यू लुक लाइक एलिस इन वंडरलैंड इन दिस कोर्ट, व्हिच इज वेरी untoward a comment for a judge to pass, and a high court level judge. But ये सारे comments आप बहुत face करते हो. I think that's where your arguments have more importance than have less importance than other things. तो उस भीमा कोरेगांव में काफी हमने अच्छा आर्ग्यूमेंट्स किए, और मुझे लगता है कि एक टिपिकल लॉयर नहीं बनना था, तो मैं नहीं बनी रही. हम एवरी वीक मेरा एक दोस्त है, मैं उनका नाम लेना चाहूंगी, प्रभाकर सोनावने, और हम लोग वकील है वो भी, और हम लोग कुछ नहीं बाइक लेके निकलते थे, और हर वीक हम भीमा कोरेगांव विजिट करते थे, फैमिलीज को मिलने, क्लाइंट्स को मिलने, विक्टिम्स को मिलने भीमा कोरेगांव के. और ये हमारा एक एक्सरसाइज हो गया था. हम पुलिस स्टेशन को विजिट करते थे. हेलो, या
sorry to interrupt, but we just have like a minute for you to go. Hello. Hello, Disha. हेलो, क्या दिशा, क्या मेरी आवाज आ रही है? I think Disha has dropped out. मैं उनको नहीं देख पा रही हूँ स्क्रीन पर. तो आई थिंक हम मूव ऑन करेंगे, और दिशा का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. A very inspiring story, and salute to her Nani ji and mother, and for showing us that you can handle adversity like a champion, and we can also do it. So I would like to move on to our next speaker, and I would like to call upon Piyush Modak ji, and let me introduce her. So Piyush Modak is a vice president with a research and development team at a medical device firm in USA, where she has led key scientific and technological breakthroughs, and she holds 2 US patents. Piyush Modak ji is MS in biomedical engineering from New Jersey Institute of Technology, USA. So over to you, Piyush Modak ji.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you well. And good morning, and thank you for joining from the US.
So I'm really excited to be speaking at this event, and I would like to thank Anup and rest of the Nalanda team for putting together such a exquisite event and bringing together such a phenomenal group of women for this event. So I was born and brought up in Mumbai. Back then it was called Bombay, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to be speaking in English. क्योंकि आपको तो पता है मुंबई वालों की हिंदी बहुत अच्छी नहीं होती. And I've been in New Jersey for 12 years. So I'll try to speak slow so we can all understand it in a way. So as a child, I always liked science. I always liked playing around with computers. It was very logical for me, very analytical. I was always in school as a conceptual learner. I couldn't for the life of me memorize things as rote learning, which is typically what happens when you're in up until 12th grade. So that's why I was an average student, somewhere in the middle of the line. But this focus on trying to figure out how things are, or trying to learn things for why they exist, was very helpful to me in my future, and trying to actually understand the concepts behind why things exist. I went to English speaking school. My teachers were very, very strict. They pushed us beyond our limit that was possible. I did not like that as a kid because I just wanted to play. But as an adult, I think in hindsight, I really wouldn't be the person who I am if the teachers did not push us to be the best version of ourselves from a young age. And I'm very thankful for having that environment to excel and work hard and work through challenging things. One of the things that everybody in India, I guess, passes through is the dreaded 10th, the 12th, and the millions of competitive exams that we have to go through. I did as well. I like science, so I picked science. And I ended up pursuing engineering degree in IT, information technology, from VJTI, also in Mumbai. And I was pretty excited to get started, to be quite honest. However, I was lost. For the 4 years, it was as if I didn't belong there. I wasn't very good at the academic part of it. My grades were very low. But I really enjoyed the other aspects of your undergrad, especially in engineering schools, about building things for technical fests. So working with your hands. And I remember this one time, there was this one project that we built, which was a wireless robotic car. And you have to buy the electronic components, you have to solder it, you have to make sure that your car is fast. And just building that as a part of an engineering team, that aspect really excited me, building things, building products. But I didn't really enjoy the academic part of it. At the end of third year engineering, as every engineering student, I was at a crossroads. Should I take management, go to IIM, do the CAT, do that whole thing? Should I pursue another technical degree? Or should I, work in a job? coding didn't really excite me, so I really didn't want to work. And that was the same for doing management degree. I did not want to give another competitive exam. So I was looking for options. Something that caught my imagination was getting the master's in biomedical engineering. I was like, this looks like something that I might be good at. I wasn't 100% sure that this is what I wanted to do, but I took the leap anyway. I jumped. And, one of the things that experience taught me is that it's okay if you fail. Okay. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do at that age. You'll figure it out. You have to take risks. You have to do some trials and errors. And most people at that age actually don't know what they want. So it's okay. You have to take the risk, and once an opportunity presents itself, you just have to go for it. So that's how I ended up in US, in New Jersey, to pursue my master's in biomedical engineering. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, wasn't it difficult switching from IT to biomedical engineering? And the short answer is not really. It wasn't. But even if it was, it wouldn't have mattered, right? I think one of the things that all of us ignore is this immense human potential of learning. There is almost infinite potential that you can learn anything, and you can learn any skills that you want to do. So, IT and biomedical engineering are just degrees. You can do whatever you want. These are just degrees. These are just tools to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And you can learn almost anything. There is no age limit. There is no gender limit. And you can go on to become whoever or whatever you want to be. But I'll tell you one experience that was interesting in my master's. So until I reached here and started doing my master's, taking my graduate studies, I had never read a research scientific paper in my life. And that part was tricky because the scientific papers are written in their own scientific language. They're technically English, but they make it very difficult for you to understand if you don't understand the scientific terminology. So I had to Google every word. Literally, I had to take the paper, I had to Google every word to understand what it means. And that was a very interesting experience, but I didn't see it as a challenge. It was what needed to be done to get through things, and that's what we need to focus on when you're faced with a challenge. What is the option? If you're not going to do it, what is the option there? So eventually I finished my master's, I did my thesis, and my first patent was actually filed based on my master's thesis that I did here. Then at the end of my MS here, I was like, okay, I'm done with studying. I don't want to do a PhD. I want to actually work. And I was eager to work with my hands developing products again, because that's, that thing kept coming back to me, to work with the hands to develop products that are going to change the way, humans interact, or change the way, or have an impact in the world. Everybody has a cell phone or a smartphone right now, which was not true almost a decade ago. And that's something that was developed by engineers and scientists who said, okay, in the future, everybody's going to carry a brick, the cell phone, in their pockets. And that was a fascinating idea to me. And it was even more fascinating to build products in the healthcare sector, products that help, either diagnose or make the help in the, or hip implants for surgical applications, all of them. So that idea was exciting for me. And at that point in time, I was starting to look for jobs, trying to get real world experience. And one of the things that I focused on strategically was looking for jobs in a small startup company. And I did not want to work for a big conglomerate. It was a very strategic decision on my part. In a small company, you get to learn more, you get to try different things, you grow professionally really fast. I started as a lab engineer, a laboratory engineer. I was doing a lot of lab testing. And then I quickly grew from that role to manager, to director, to currently the VP of R&D. The product that my company and my team were developing is actually developing a new way of stopping bleeding during surgery. And it's very simple, really. It's two sugars, not like glucose, but something similar, that combine together to form like a gel that you can spray on a wound to stop bleeding during surgery. And I led the development of this technology. And I had to do a lot of scientific experiments related to mostly polymer chemistry, because that's what we're working with. My job also involves presenting, scientific information at scientific meets, managing other scientists so that we're successful in developing this product. During this time, my second patent was issued based on my years of work with polymer chemistry. In my mind, I had never imagined myself as an inventor. In my mind, it was always Einstein or Edison who had patents and inventions. And so, I just started working on things, and, it turned out to be a new invention, and it was. And I would like to actually share, if I can, one of my patents. Let me see. Utpala, is there a way I can share?
Yeah. You could click on share screen. Are you able to see that option?
Oh, yes. All right. Thank you. Okay, so this is, a United States patent. I am the lead inventor on this. And, this was an achievement that I had never even imagined that I was going to make. And just wanted to share that with you so you can imagine yourselves as being future inventors, I hope. So during this time, I also published 2 journal articles explaining the key scientific breakthroughs that I've led. And both of them were actually featured on the cover of international journals. So from not ever reading a research article to actually being the lead author on 2 of them was also something that I didn't envision, but I was able to accomplish. Okay, so here, this is the article that was published. I'm the lead author in that, and it was actually also featured on the cover of this journal. And what you see on the cover is the molecule that my team and I created as a part of this this company. So how did I get here? Very briefly in conclusion, like how did I go from IT to biomedical engineering to polymer chemistry? I certainly did not do this alone. I don't think that any accomplishment by any human can be achieved alone. I think, it's a team effort. There were people all along my entire journey to help me to achieve this. Certainly I would not be here without the hard work and unconditional support by both my parents. They worked hard, and I think they sacrificed a lot to give me every chance of being successful in my field. And being an Ambedkarite, education was always a top priority in my household. And it certainly has been a key driver in my success story. All along the way, I had teachers, I had mentors, I had peers, friends, family, all of them who helped me in my journey to be the person I am today. There is this thought that we have in thinking is like, I stand on the shoulders of giants, and that is certainly true. Even when you think about historically, I could not have been the person I am without the people who came before me or the people who supported me. And that's something that you have to kind of think about. A couple of things I would like to point out is, one is, I was very opportunistic. So if an opportunity comes my way, I think it's the right opportunity, I will jump on it. You sometimes have just the gut feeling that this is what I want to do. The second thing is, you don't have to restrict yourself to only one achievement or one goal in your life. You can have multiple achievements over your lifetime, and we are a holistic person. We are not defined by our degree. We're not defined by our accomplishments. And it is certainly okay to have multiple accomplishments throughout your life. Now, while working in my current job full-time, I also volunteered with the African American population in US. They're very similar to what conditions that we have with lower caste people here. They face discrimination. Education is not a big priority. So it was really fun to work with the kids. And I'm just gonna quickly show you a picture. So this is an old picture. Will look a lot younger, obviously, but I worked with a lot of African American kids. Notice we're standing next to the bust of Charles Darwin, and this is definitely was inspirational for a lot of the kids that I worked with. Just like other people were a part of my journey, I am a part of other people's journey. So I also like to help other people achieve their goals. And that's how I look at when I'm thinking about volunteering or mentoring or any kind of social work that you want to think about. Now, closing moments, I hope that I've given you some insights about by sharing my journey. But this is just my individual journey. It is certainly not a guideline for success. Everyone has to chart their own journey for success. And I truly believe that every one of us not only deserves a chance to succeed, but has within them the ability to have a truly meaningful impact on humanity. You can choose what field you want to have that impact, but it's already within you, and you have to hone it and strike when the opportunity presents itself. So with the last thought I want to leave you with is, in the future, I look forward to seeing many of the Nalanda students become inventors with many, many patents to their names. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Piyush Modakji. Very, very fascinating journey, and very fascinating to look at your patents, uh, your innovations. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences. And very rightfully said that we are indebted to our parents and to people who have sacrificed their life before we came. So thank you so much for that. And moving on to the next part of this program, I would like to call upon again Disha Wadekar. We lost her in just before she wanted to close. So I would like to give 5 minutes to Disha Wadekar just to share her closing thoughts with us. Disha, I hope you're there. Disha, are you there?
Hello. Yeah, yeah. I was disabled. The host had disabled my video and audio. Sorry.
Welcome back,
Sorry.
Disha.
Uh, yeah. And I'm really sorry for dropping out like that. There
No
was an
worries
issue
at
with the
all. Please
link.
continue. We wanted to hear your closing thoughts.
Yeah. I think I really want to get to the point of the need for Bahujan lawyers and litigating lawyers in courts of laws. And not just in courts of laws, and by that I don't mean district courts and lower courts, because I think in the lower courts you will find quite a few Bahujan lawyers. You find quite a few Dalit Adivasi lawyers. But as in how you move up in the higher judiciary, you see that the representation is minuscule. And it's also very disturbing because we have our cases in the high courts and supreme court, but we do not have our lawyers represent us, right? And I think that's a very disturbing thought to me. I think I'd give a small example of how my journey to the Supreme Court went, and then I want to talk about what is the need for our lawyers to be in the Supreme Court. While working in the atrocities cases, there was a 2018 judgment in Subhash Mahajan, a very disturbing judgment, which diluted the provisions of Atrocities Act, right? And there was an uproar all over the country. And when the Supreme Court diluted those provisions, you can't do anything because that's a precedent. When the Supreme Court says it, it's a precedent. And the nation, all the agencies have to follow suit. Um, the practice in the lower court in the atrocities cases had become so difficult because already the Supreme Court had set a precedent. You couldn't even move in atrocities cases. Filing an FIR, lodging an FIR in the most gruesome atrocities had become extremely difficult because the Supreme Court had said that a preliminary inquiry will happen before an FIR is lodged in atrocities cases. And it was, I think that was the time I felt that, this is not the place for me to work because here I can do one or two cases here and there for my people. But if there is a very large scale impactful work, especially in my field, that will have to be done, it will be have to done at the level of the Supreme. um, an amendment happened after that in Subhash Mahajan. The Atrocities Act was amended by the Parliament, but ये बात होती है कि आप Parliament amend भी कर देता है, even then it has to pass the scrutiny of the Supreme Court. So when the act was restored by the Parliament, and it was again challenged, that Amendment Act was challenged in the Supreme Court, saying that this is violating the Constitution and this is violating the basic constitutional framework. I think I appeared in that matter, and I was assisting Miss Indira Jaising. She was representing the victim in the case, and we had a fair amount of success. She also had me on board to a great extent because I had of working in atrocities cases at the ground level, right? And we managed to get all those cases before the Supreme Court. We brought a case where a Dalit man was force-fed human excreta just 2 months before, the Subhash Mahajan judgment, where the Supreme Court said that Atrocities Act is being misused, and that Dalit man was force-fed human excreta, but it took some 2 months for the police to even lodge an FIR. So we tried to bring these kind of cases before the Supreme Court, and I think it was very important to be there at that point in time. After, I think, Subhash Mahajan, a very impactful and a very important judgment for the community has been the Jarnail Singh judgment of 2019. And I had the privilege and the opportunity when I was in the Supreme Court to work on that judgment. It was a judgment on reservation promotion. And as we know that scheduled caste and scheduled tribes have reservations and promotions, a lot of us are also doing well in some way or the other because reservation has been a crucial part of our lives. Reservation has not just been, like a tool or a ladder for us. It has also been a very revolutionary, radical game changer for us. Right, and the Supreme Court again had diluted, the reservation and promotions policy. And then in the Jarnail case, what had happened was that it had set three criteria, and three criteria were basically barriers in giving reservation, which meant that there was no reservation policy, right? And one of those criteria was that if you're a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe person, you will have to prove your backwardness, right? And this to us will be absurd because you are backward on account of your historical injustice. There's historical injustice. These arguments that we made before the court. We said that this whole idea is so absurd that a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe person has to prove his or her backwardness to get the benefit of reservation. And we got a fair amount of success in Jarnail Singh at that time. And the judge, it was a constitution bench, a five judges bench in that judgment said that one doesn't have to prove that backwardness. Again, a very impactful judgment. A lot of states started implementing reservation policy and reservation and promotions after that judgment. So I had the opportunity to work on that. I think after that, I think one very important judgment, and I'll just quickly sum up after that, is the Sabrimala judgment, and we've heard of the Sabrimala case, all of us. A 9 judges bench, a constitution bench, sat in Sabrimala. And I think how, as a Bahujan lawyer, what can you do and what can you bring to the whole narrative in the higher judiciary, which is extremely Brahminical in that sense. The setup is Brahminical, the judges are Brahminical, the lawyers and the seniors who are arguing are Brahminical and Brahmins and Banyas, right? And what is it that you can do there? So in Sabrimala, the practice of not allowing women to enter the temple, right? Because they are menstruating women. We made a very sociological argument in that. And one would say that, not a good practice to make sociological arguments in the Supreme Court, but we made an argument saying that this practice of not allowing entry to women in the temples is an untouchability practice. And therefore, it is violative of Article 17. And that Justice Chandrachud took from that, right? And I think me being there, that presence over there is also something that we can really add to this whole narrative of how these precedents are set by the higher judiciary. That I feel is a very low, because there are no Bahujan lawyers, there are no Daladi lawyers in the Supreme Court in and around. They are not here. Let me that support at this point in time, 70, 75 years after independence, after the Indian Constitution came into being, Article 16 and 14 and 17, designated senior counsel from a Dalit, Adivasi or Bahujan community in the Supreme Court, and that is a shame. I think our clients are still having to go and be at the mercy of Savarna Brahmin lawyers in the Supreme Court, right? And therefore there is an immense need for us to think small. A lot of us, even when we do law, we think that it's better to take up go for judicial exams, or it's better to get into academics after doing law. But I would really urge you to think of this as an opportunity, an immense opportunity to serve your community, to get into litigation, to argue in courts. I would just give one small example of the Black movement in the US, the civil rights movement. How uh, the NAACP was a major organization which led the civil rights movement in the US, and the NAACP had something called as the Legal Defense Fund. Now, that Legal Defense Fund was a crucial part. In fact, it was an integral part of the whole civil rights movement. That fund was created to give defense by the Black people to defend their own community and their rights, right? And from that that Legal Defense Fund, that LDF of NAACP, which was founded by Thurgood Marshall, by the way, uh, came the Brown versus Board of Education, which was a landmark judgment. Brown versus Board of Education is the judgment which segregation practices, right? So it was one of the landmark cases in the civil rights movement, and the LDF still continues. There, they have this system, the movement, the civil rights movement, the Black Lives Matter movement over there have this system where they are invested in the legal fight for the community, right? And I feel that there is an immense need to have that back here in India for the marginal communities, for Dalit, Bahujan, Adivasi communities. And I think we need to start thinking in that direction. And I think the starting point to that would be us, as students, as wanting to take up legal education, wanting to then go to courts, and not just lower courts, but also the higher courts. I think that's where we could, envision something like that. So I think I'd like to end there. Jai Bhim, Jai Savitri. Thank you.
Jai Bhim, Jai Bhim. Thank you so much, Disha Wadekar. You're a walking, talking powerhouse, and salute to all three women, your Nani ji, your mother, and you, for being such badass women. And so thank you so much again. And yeah, we'll move on to the next speaker. And again, a lot of thank you for all our dignitaries who are joining from the US. It's very late for them. So I'm going to call upon the next speaker, Chetna Kamre. So a little bit about Chetna Kamre. She is a data scientist and business analyst in Philadelphia, USA, and has experience of working in France and Singapore. She holds a MS degree in business analytics from the Liebau College of Business, USA again, and Financial and Risk Management, USA again. So over to you, Chetna Kamre.
So thank you, Utpala. Thank you so much. Well, Jai Bhim, everyone, and special greetings to my all dear young and bright minds of Nalanda Academy. Thank you so much for being here today. So we are all here today to celebrate Savitrimai's birthday, right? और अगर ये शायद कोविड नहीं होता तो maybe we all could have been in the same room listening to all the great dignitaries, and maybe हमने lunch time में साथ में खाना भी खाया होता, celebration और भी मजा आता. बट जो भी है, आज का जो वर्चुअल सेशन चल रहा है या तो फिर अपना जो साथ वाला सेशन होता, it would have been just a one-day session, right? But then ideally, I think that we should be celebrating these great personalities like Savitrimai, Jyotiba Phule, Dr. Ambedkar, Gautam Buddha in our everyday lives. Trust me that if we celebrate these great personalities in our daily lives, we are going to be very, very successful, not only in our professional life, but also in our personal life. अभी आप सोच रहे होंगे कि how can we celebrate these people in our daily life, right? The answer is simple. We have to just implement their teachings, their thoughts, their values, their beliefs in every action we perform. अभी ये बोलना तो आसान है कि we will be following their principles, but then yes, अगर हम implement कर पाते हैं तो nothing like it. So today, I just want to talk to you about two of the very important values laid out by Savitrimai for us. One is the education, and second is the equal rights for men and women. And I want to talk about these two values in today's context. So जैसे let's talk first about education. तो जैसे हमने तो सावित्री माई और ज्योतिबा फुले के लाइफ स्टोरी से हमें पता ही है कि कैसे उन्होंने अपनी वाइफ को सबसे पहले पढ़ाया, फिर उन्होंने गर्ल्स के लिए स्कूल खोली, और फिर बाद में जब सावित्री माई जब स्कूल में पढ़ाने जाती थी, people used to throw cow dung at her so that she won't be able to reach school. But then despite of all these difficulties, उन्होंने अपनी स्कूल बहुत सक्सेसफुली चलाई. सो द पॉइंट इज कि इवन मतलब इतने डिफिकल्टीज के बाद भी इफ दे वर एबल टू open up a school over there and run a school over there, that means how much education was important to them. और अगर आप सावित्री माई की पोएम्स भी पढ़िए, अगर आपने पढ़ी नहीं होंगी ना तो डेफिनेटली पढ़िए, बहुत ही सुंदर पोएम है, उनकी सारी पोएम्स बहुत सुंदर है. तो उनके हर एक पोएम में आप देखेंगे ना तो इंग्लिश और एजुकेशन पे बहुत ही ज्यादा स्ट्रेस किया है. एंड इवन आई कांट स्ट्रेस इनफ मोर ऑन दिस टू थिंग्स. सो ये तो था 100 ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 150 इयर्स पहले, लेकिन आज तो हम 2021 में है, तो सोचो कि एजुकेशन कितना ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हो गया है, राइट? जब हम आज के दिन पे एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं तो द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट कम्स ऑन द टॉप ऑफ आवर माइंड इज लाइक getting a good degree and getting good marks. So in a way it's right. I mean, at least for you guys are students, so आपके दिमाग में तो सबसे पहले तो यही चीज आनी चाहिए, एक अच्छी डिग्री और एक अच्छा मार्क्स. और क्यों आना चाहिए? बिकॉज एक अच्छी डिग्री और एक अच्छे मार्क्स से it opens the door for different kind of good job opportunities. और जब आपके पास अच्छा जॉब होता है, आपकी लाइफ अच्छी बनती है और फिर सोसाइटी में आपका स्टेटस भी बढ़ जाता है. बट देन मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली व्हाट आई थिंक दैट फॉर अ कम्युनिटी लाइक अवर्स, this education and the degree and the job, it definitely empowers us to help the people in our society, in our community. जैसे सावित्री बाई और ज्योतिबा अब हमारे अपने लिए कर पाए थे, right? So guys, study hard, work hard, अपनी डिग्रीज पक्का लो और अच्छे जॉब लो, so that we should be able to help others who need us, right? अभी जैसे the second thing is about English. अभी आपने देखा ही होगा कि 11-12 तक तो जरूरी नहीं था इंग्लिश इतना, क्योंकि अपने सारे एजुकेशन शायद अपने मदर टंग में भी बुक्स अवेलेबल होते थे. लेकिन जैसे आप ग्रेजुएशन के लिए जाते हो, आप कोई भी फील्ड में जाओ, you will see that all the textbooks, they are in English. और फिर आप आपके ग्रेजुएशन के बाद अब जब काम भी करने जाते हो, whether let it be any kind of industry, आप देखते हो कि all the work related documents, they are in English. And आपके जो work colleagues है वो भी they are like spread across the globe, so you have to communicate in English. So all in all, English has become like a kind of global language. So there is no way that you can escape from learning a good written and spoken English. So you do have to work hard on that as well, right? But then now, if you think that education means only having a good degree or a good command over English, no. Education also means, gaining a good knowledge on variety of subjects. Let it be sports, let it be politics, or reading books of great personalities. Reading books, shapes up your personalities. It shapes the way you think. It builds, it kinds of give you confidence. And most importantly, reading different books makes you a smart person. And who doesn't want to be smart? Don't you want to be smart? So all in all, what I'm trying to say is that yes, आप अपनी पढ़ाई के, आपकी डेली पढ़ाई के साथ डेफिनेटली आप इंग्लिश पे भी ध्यान दीजिए, लेकिन साथ में रीडिंग को भी अपनी हैबिट बनाइए. मुझे तो पढ़ना बहुत पसंद है, बहुत ही ज्यादा पसंद है. और अगर आप लोगों में से किसी को अगर पढ़ना पसंद नहीं है तो स्टार्ट विथ कॉमिक बुक्स और स्मॉल स्टोरी बुक्स. मैं तो इतनी बड़ी हो गई, लेकिन आज भी मुझे कॉमिक बुक्स पढ़ना बहुत ही ज्यादा पसंद है। सो वेल, तो पॉइंट यही है कि कीप रीडिंग एंड most especially in English, right? Now the second value which I really wanted to talk to you guys is about equal rights for men and women. वैसे तो you might be knowing कि Jyotiba Phule, he firmly believed that both men and women, they are equally qualified to enjoy human rights in equal measure. And he encouraged and motivated women to fight against patriarchy. And you know what? He practiced what he preached. वो सिर्फ बोलते ही नहीं थे, he actually implemented it. उन्होंने सबसे पहले अपनी wife को पढ़ाया. He empowered her. He not only empowered his own women, but then he also empowered the women in the society by opening up schools for education, right? So today, I just want to share my opinion that how you, the smart and the intelligent guys of Nalanda, you can empower the women in your lives. Say, be it your mother, be it your sister. So I just want to share few examples that how you can implement this equality thing in your day-to-day lives. जैसे for example, हम अभी बहुत सारे parents को कहते हुए सुनते हैं कि हाँ हम तो अपने बेटा और बेटी को इक्वल ही मानते हैं, हम अपने बेटे को भी स्कूल भेजते हैं और बेटी को भी स्कूल भेजते हैं। बट देन आप मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स देखिए जब बेटा और बेटी दोनों स्कूल या कॉलेज से आते हैं, द पेरेंट्स एक्सपेक्ट समथिंग डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अ गर्ल चाइल्ड. वो दे एक्सपेक्ट दैट शी वुड बी डूइंग सम हाउस होल्ड चोर्स. बट देन जब उनका बेटा आता है तो यू नो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स ऐसे ही होता है कि आपके हाथ में पानी का ग्लास मिलता है, आपके हाथ में खाने की प्लेट मिलती है, but the same treatment is not given to their girl child. So ये कैसे, how it is treating equally, right? So this is the point where you the boys have to step in and explain it to your and say and tell to your mother कि नहीं मम्मी, हम दोनों भी स्कूल से आए हैं या कॉलेज से आए हैं, हम दोनों को ही होमवर्क या असाइनमेंट करना है, तो हम दोनों ही घर का काम पूरा मिलके करेंगे और फिर हम दोनों को, जिससे हमें दोनों को टाइम मिलेगा पढ़ाई करने के लिए भी और रेस्ट करने के लिए भी, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ यू आर एम्पावरिंग योर सिस्टर बाय गिविंग हर टाइम टू स्टडी एंड टू रिलैक्स एज वेल, राइट? और फिर ऐसे ही हम अपने घरों में मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स हम अपने सारे एल्डर से हमेशा सुनते हैं कि घर का काम करना, तो खाना बनाना, घर की साफ सफाई करना, ये तो लड़कियों को आना ही चाहिए और ये सारे लड़कियों के काम है. So आपने you should step up in there and you should explain it to your parents or your elders कि नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. ये तो सारी बहुत ही लाइफ सेविंग स्किल्स है जो सबको ही आने चाहिए. खाना तो मैं भी खाता हूँ, तो खाना बनाना मुझे भी आना चाहिए. घर में मैं भी रहता हूँ, तो घर की साफ सफाई तो मुझे भी करने आनी चाहिए, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ you should be implementing all this equality things in a small way. और इससे फायदा ये होगा कि you would be helping your mother or your sister or maybe your wife also to achieve their goals, right? So these were just few examples. Now these were the examples wherein you are helping the women in your life. But then how about the empowering or helping the women who are not a part of your family, like say they're your colleagues or your college friends? So here I just want to tell you guys one thing, कि you should be treating all the girls, all the women you know respectfully. जब आप उनके सामने भी बात करते हैं या उनके पीछे भी बात करते हैं, you should be talking with respect. आप जैसा चाहते हैं कि आपके सिस्टर और मदर के बारे में दूसरे बॉयज कैसे बात करें, exactly that's how you should be treating those girls, right? And I'm sure कि आप नालंदा के smart और intelligent boys ऐसा करते होंगे, but then I thought I should take this opportunity, just to re-emphasize all these things. Well, इसके बाद मुझे बस अपनी स्मार्ट एंड इंटेलिजेंट नालंदा गर्ल्स के लिए एक मैसेज है कि you know, I sincerely believe कि हम लड़कियों में, we the women, we have tremendous power in shaping not only our destiny, but then the destiny of our family, the present and the future of our family. And I'm saying this from my own experience. जैसे I will tell you my I mean मेरे family की story. My mother, if you see, in fact I would say कि जितना भी success, whatever success me and my brothers have, whatever little success, we totally owe it to my mother. You know, I mean, if you meet her, you will find her that she's a very simple woman, very simple woman, and बहुत ही सीधी सादी रहती है, कहीं ज़्यादा बाहर step out नहीं करती है. But then the most amazing thing about her is her progressive thinking. उनकी thinking बहुत ही amazingly progressive है. Despite, you know, since she was born and raised in a slum, तो उनको ना उनका एजुकेशन उनको बहुत ही स्ट्रगल करके मिला है, और उसके लिए उनको ना बहुत मनी के भी बहुत ज्यादा, I mean, she had learned to utilize whatever little money had very judiciously. So when she started her family, I mean, while she was raising us, she had made it a point that she would use most of the income of मेरे parents का income, most of that she would spend on our education and our education related activities. So not only she would spend on our study के books, but then other books, like let it be story books, novels, etc. बिल्कुल आगे पीछे नहीं देखती थी. पर अगर वैसे जैसे ही, you know, she would barely spend any money on clothes or accessories or all this stuff. उनका तो firm belief, मतलब firm मानना ही है कि ये सारी जो कपड़े वगैरह सब ये जो सारी जो चीजें, these are distractions. स्टूडेंट लाइफ में सिर्फ पढ़ाई पे फोकस होना चाहिए. So all in all, you know, उनका बहुत ही एजुकेशन और बुक्स, इन सब चीजों पे उन्होंने बहुत ही ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस दिया. और फिर एंड द मोस्ट, उसके मतलब उन्होंने हमको इस रेस करते वक्त एजुकेशन का इम्पोर्टेंस तो हमको बताया ही, बट देन द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग जो मुझे, व्हिच आई चेरिश, what she did for us was she kept us away from all the superstitious beliefs, all the ritualistic practices. मतलब हमको अब इन सारे practices के बारे में कभी पता ही नहीं चलने दिया. And trust me कि ये जो सारी regressive thinking है ना, मतलब मुझ तक कभी पहुंची ही नहीं. Always, you know, somehow my thinking has been very modern, and all the credit goes to her, and I think this is very, very important. वैसे मैं बचपन में जिस एरिया में रहती थी, मतलब मेरे पेरेंट्स अभी भी वही रहते हैं. एक्चुअली वो एरिया हमारे टिपिकल हम महार लोगों का एरिया है, और वहाँ पे ना जो बाहर का जो एनवायरनमेंट है वो बहुत ही अनहेल्दी टाइप्स का रहा है. हम जब भी हम बचपन में बाहर स्टेप आउट करते थे, यू वुड सी ऑलवेज ऑल द पीपल ड्रंक एंड पूरा गाली गलोच, और फिर वही मतलब एकदम मर्डर्स तक होते थे हमारे एरिया में. सो इट वाज अ प्रीटी डेंजरस एरिया. लेकिन ये हमारे घर के बाहर का एनवायरनमेंट था. लेकिन जब आप हमारे घर के अंदर आते हो ना, my mother had ensured that it was a kind of a very different place, a very sophisticated place. my mother tongue is Marathi. जब हम घर के बाहर स्टेप आउट करते थे, मराठी यू वुड लिसन, इट वाज हॉरिबल द स्लैंग मराठी. पर आप जैसे मेरे घर में स्टेप आउट करेंगे, आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि आप ऐसे एरिया में आए हो. सो व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू इज दैट कि मतलब द थिंग इज दैट because my mother had very good values, she herself had very good values, and that what she inculcated in us, उसके वजह से, you know, our family, she could elevate our family from somewhere from here to here. So what I want to tell you girls is that कि आप भी अपनी सोच को बहुत प्रोग्रेसिव बनाइए, आप भी बहुत अच्छे अच्छे बुक्स पढ़िए, बिकॉज जब आप अच्छे जब आपके विचार बहुत अच्छे होंगे तभी यू विल बी एबल टू हेल्प योर फैमिली एंड योर फैमिली मेंबर्स। और इसीलिए अगर आप में से अगर कोई वो क्रैपी हिंदी टीवी सीरियल्स देखता होगा ना जिसमें बहुत ही रिग्रेसिव थिंकिंग होती है, please stop doing it. They take you centuries behind, okay? And start reading good books. So this is what I just wanted to share with you guys. But then I want to sum up whatever I wanted to convey with few lines from Savitrimai's collection of poems, okay? So here it is. Be self-reliant, be industrious, work, gather wisdom and riches. Sit idle no more, go get education. With Nalanda and Anup sir, you have got a golden chance to learn. Early in the morning, immerse yourself in studies. Waste not these precious days. Study hard, get educated, treat knowledge as your God. Diligently take advantage of it, concentrating with all your heart. Knowledge is wealth greater than riches. Wise is considered he who acquires it. Jai Bhim, and thanks a lot for listening to me. And I hope you will implement all the values. Okay? Thank you.
चेतना जी, थैंक यू सो मच. जय भीम टू यू. सच पावरफुल टॉक. इतना पावरफुल चीज़ आपने इतने सिंपल वे से हमको समझाई है. हमारे बच्चे ज़रूर सुन रहे हैं और उनको शायद समझ में आ रहा होगा, स्पेशली हमारी लड़कियों को. तो थैंक यू सो मच अगेन. और मूव ऑन करते हैं हमारे नेक्स्ट स्पीकर की तरफ. वी आर हाफ वे थ्रू एंड सच पावर हाउस ऑफ लेडीज. आई हैव नेक्स्ट कमिंग अप डॉक्टर शालिनी आर्या. Shalini Arya is Assistant Professor, Food and Technology at Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. CNPQ, TWAS Fellow, Malus Pina International Scholar, AFST Young Scientist Awardee. Wow. Has been working in the area of nutritional improvement in traditional foods. And she is MTech and PhD in Food Engineering and Technology from ICT, Mumbai. So over to you, Dr. Shalini.
Thank you so much, Utpala, and I would like to compliment Nalanda Academy for taking such a nice lead to inspire our girls and gathering all the motivating speakers under one platform. So I would like to compliment all the wonderful speakers in today's talk. I was listening to Disha, Chetna, Piyush. Wow, it's such a inspiring stories and thoughts, and I'm sure our girls have taken a lot from it. And I would like to congratulate Nalanda, Digital Nalanda, for this wonderful initiative, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk and share the journey of the motivation and inspiration of my own life. So without taking much time, today is a very, very lucky, fortunate day because it's a very, very special day, because today was a great woman who was born, and because of her, we are today here. And many of the speakers have already given a talk, and our kids or our children and our people know about who is Savitrimai Phule. So I don't have to talk about her. She is the one, and we should acknowledge and remember. And as Chetna said, that we should read the books. Read the books. Which books? Read the books of our leader, who has given us a lot of message. Why they must have insisted always on studying, education, reading? Why they sacrifice their life? Chetna was sharing few thoughts about Savitrimai Phule and her poems. Savitrimai Phule, for her entire life, she insisted on education. And same was like Baba Saheb Ambedkar, what he did. all of our leader insisted, because education is a very, very powerful tool. So today I am going to talk about how can we empower our girls with the STEM education, being from STEM, that is science, technology, and engineering and mathematics. Why there is more power into this? Of course, there are other branches also, but today I will be more focusing on STEM education through a personal career journey and how I became from a local to global scientist. And my story echoes very, very in line with Chetna's mom or Chetna's story where she lived. And I also, proudly say that I also lived in a such area, slum area, and that has made me, I think difficulties brings you the more power, more wisdom, and that's what I'm going to share. I'm very proud that I belong to the community and the society. So I would like to start my talk with paying a great tribute to my role model, my inspiration, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and Savitrimai Phule, who always, and that is why we are, because he was, and we should never forget. So as Babasaheb Ambedkar has said, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women have achieved. So he always insisted on women's education, and that is why, these lines just now Chetna was, sit idle no more, go get the education. I see and I feel very sad that our people, our community people, they are aimless. They roam around aimlessly. They do not, pay. And of course, there are a lot of difficulties. We have to start from zero. I see the kids from a better family who have a good money, good everything good. They don't have much hurdles, a good light for study, a good home, good facility, good motivators, a positive environment. Whereas for our society people, they see fights in the home, the scarcity of money, scarcity of everything, and in spite of taking education in all the scarcity is very difficult. And Nalanda, digital Nalanda, is insisting and helping our kids for taking education. That's really, really very nice and noble cause this digital Nalanda is involved in. So as I said, ज्ञान व्यक्ति के जीवन का आधार है. Education is the most important thing, and don't stop. Go for higher education. Go for higher education, especially in the science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. Why I'm insisting on these fields? Because the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, if you study, because there is a lot of innovation happening in the technology, and innovation is the need. When in the when there is a need, there is a more market, there is more money in science, technology, and engineering, mathematics. You will get more job opportunities and more money, and when you have more money, your status will improve, and when your status is improved, you can definitely do something for your society. And I think despite of so many of years after Savitrimai Phule or after Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, still there is a lot of reformation. बहुत प्रबोधन की जरूरत है हमारे लोगों में. गिने चुने लोग पढ़ते भी है तो भी रिफॉर्मेशन नहीं है उन लोगों में. So it's a society, we have to together do something. So as Baba Sahib said, education हमारे जीवन का दर्जा उठाता है. So life should be great rather than long. So if you do education, you take education, your life will be great. So today women are underrepresented in the field of STEM, science, technology, at all levels of career, so that's really, and today also, despite of taking education, there are so many hurdles in a life of women, overall women. Okay, so if you see a male, as I already shared by Chetna, that there is a big difference when a male and a female, both of them are working, but then all the responsibilities related to childcare or household things a girl will have to, do everything despite even if the husband is educated. Still, but the society says अगर कोई आदमी बर्तन मांजता है, उसकी माँ उसको बोलती है क्या लड़कियों जैसे बर्तन मांज रहा है, मत मांज बर्तन. If the husband is helping the wife, the lady only in the house says that क्यों ऐसे कर रहा है, उसको करने दे. So there is, there are lots of many years. I think we women have to really wait when this situation is going to, literally change, and not only in the house, but in the society. When the women are going outside and working in the different field, they are no more less, but then there are a lot of problems. They are not given the higher position, thinking that अरे वो lady है, वो women है, वो कुछ कर नहीं पाएगी. They underestimate the women's power, and a lot of problems are going on. And I'm happy that there are organizations with whom I am associated. There are some international organizations, and we are working to make change in the policy, because changing the mindset of the people, it's going to take a lot of time. But then there is a way. If we change the policies, maybe there is some help to the woman that is going to happen. So it's an inconvenient truth that despite of so many efforts, the women decreases at each level when women advance in professional life. So initially, okay, they take their bachelor's graduation, then they somehow manages to do the masters. Of course, this is especially very less percentage for our community people. It's really very bad. I remember from my childhood that in the entire school, hardly there is any girl from my class who has gone for higher education. Forget about girls, the boys also, only गिने चुने लड़के हैं जो आगे एजुकेशन ले चुके हैं. मेरे जो बचपन के स्कूल या मैं जिस स्कूल में गई हूँ, आप समझ ही सकते हो हमारे कम्युनिटी के लोग कितने आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. ये पिक्चर है ओवरऑल सारे लोगों का. ओके, मेल फीमेल फ्रॉम ऑल द कम्युनिटी, बट हमारे लोग तो इसमें आते ही नहीं. वो तो कहाँ उधर ही गायब हो जाते. बेसिक एजुकेशन भी वो लोग ले नहीं पाते. So I would like to quote that in the middle of every difficulty, yes, in our societies, people, there are a lot of difficulties, lot of hurdles. We have extreme poverty. You see slum, कौन रहता है slum में? बहुत गरीब लोग. और वो कौन से जाति के होते हैं? मोस्टली वो सब दलित लोग ही होते हैं, दलित ही होते हैं. उनको कुछ मतलब एजुकेशन नहीं ले पाते, और गरीबी और एक विशियस साइकिल है. वो कैसे है, आप गरीब हो तो आपको बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम फेस करने पड़ेंगे. गरीब है तो हंगर आ ही जाएगा. हंगर आएगा तो स्टीरियोटाइप और एनवायरमेंट, पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाओगे. पढ़ाई नहीं कर पाओगे तो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं होगा, प्रबोधन नहीं हो पाएगा, विचारों में प्रोग्रेसिवनेस नहीं आएगा. आप अंधश्रद्धा के जाल में जूझते रह जाओगे. तो ये सब विशियस साइकिल है. तो इस साइकिल को तोड़ना पड़ेगा, तो हमें एजुकेशन लेना पड़ेगा. और इसलिए रिसेंटली आई पब्लिश्ड अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी ऑफ माय करियर journey in a science magazine, and worldwide throughout the different countries the story becomes so popular, and it is one of the top most story essay of the year. Recently in July it got published, and within 6 months this is one of the topmost story read by the entire world. So I feel very proud, and many big scientists, Nobel laureates including, they wrote to me and really appreciated that, and there were so many scientists from different countries as well as including ours, that they said that their story echoed mine, but people do not have courage to share. Okay, I'm very proud that what are my roots, what difficulties I have faced. I'm very proud that I come from a community where there were I come from slum area. Okay, I have no problem. But yes, so I am today in front and talking to you is first and lastly due to education. Girls, you have a live example. अगर मैं कर सकती हूँ तो आप तो कर ही सकते हो. आपको तो कितना अच्छा ऐसे इंटरेस्टिंग टॉक, मोटिवेटिंग टॉक सुनने को मिल रहे हैं. पहली बात, आपको गाइड करने के लिए अनुज जी जैसे मोटिवेटर है. आपको सारी मतलब कोई और आपके लिए काम कर रहा है, तो आपको बहुत अच्छा माहौल मिल रहा है. So I'm telling you, 10 years or 20 years back, the situation, or 30 years back, the situation was really, really worse. I grew up, I come from a very, very small town or village, and in that village or town also, the slum area wherein, Dalits would stay, and extreme poverty. सुबह जाएंगे काम को, अगर कमा के नहीं लाएंगे तो रात को खाना नहीं मिलेगा. Literally in that situation. Okay, so I have faced a lot of challenges in my career path, but I did not let them hold me back, because I'm again, proud that I grew up in a slum area where Dalit, the area in our I lived, mostly all of them were Dalits, and who had इंस्पिरेशन, दैट इज बाबा साहेब आम्बेडकर. वो जोरों शोरों से भीम जयंती मनाते थे हम लोग, एकदम भीम जयंती सबसे बढ़िया. मतलब यही मुझे अच्छा लगता है. आजकल के लोग ना पढ़ लिखते हैं, लेकिन फिर बाबा साहब का नाम भी लेने के लिए हिचकिचाते हैं, बोलने के लिए कि भाई मैं दलित हूँ, मैं कैटेगरी से आता हूँ, ये बताते तक नहीं. इसलिए मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता कि उनको शर्म आती है बताने के लिए कि भाई मैं दलित हूँ. और मैं गरीब जो दलित लोग हैं वो बहुत मतलब मानते हैं, बाबा साहब की पूजा करेंगे, भीम जयंती बहुत जोरों शोरों से सेलिब्रेट करेंगे. मैं बचपन से देखती हूँ कि बहुत मोटिवेट हो चुकी हूँ मैं, क्योंकि भीम जयंती के कारण हम लोग एक पर्व रखते थे, जैसे बुक्स पढ़ने हैं बाबा साहब की जीवन पे, छोटे छोटे बच्चों को भाषण देना है बाबा साहब, कुछ मालूम नहीं था. और हमारे मोहल्ले में क्या रहेगा, टूटे फूटे मिट्टी के बाबा साहब की मूर्तियां रहेंगी, या सावित्रीबाई फुले. मेरे माँ का खुद का नाम सावित्री था, तो हम लोग उसको चिढ़ाते थे सावित्रीबाई फुले, सावित्रीबाई फुले. एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी न्यू हु वाज सावित्रीबाई फुले, एंड द स्कूल इन विच we went, like I went, it was a school for Dalit community or slum people. तो वहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ नहीं था कि भाई बाबा साहब और सावित्रीबाई फुले या हमारे ग्रेट लीडर्स के बारे में. तो मुझे बहुत प्राउड फील होता है कि मैं बचपन से इनके बारे में सुन चुकी हूँ, और आई हैव इंस्पायर्ड बिकॉज ऑफ देयर स्टोरीज. आई रिमेम्बर आई यूज्ड टू रीड Baba Saheb. I knew Baba Saheb, how he used to read underline. So I know that I come from a family where we did not even have light. We lived in a झुग्गी झोपड़ी, जहाँ पे आपको कुछ सीमेंट को दिखने को नहीं मिलेगा, लाइट ही नहीं है, तो आपको फैन और बाकी की लग्जरियस चीजों के बारे में आप सोच ही नहीं सकते हो. तो कुछ लगा नहीं कि भाई हमें कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि बाबा साहब के पास भी तो नहीं था, वो तो रोड पे बैठ के पढ़ाई करते थे, तो हमें क्या है. बट ओनली मोटिवेशन आई ड्रू इज बाबा साहब पढ़ाई करके इतने बड़े, बहुत कुछ पता नहीं चलता था, क्योंकि वहां पे उस जमाने में कोई इंस्पिरेशन टॉक नहीं हुआ करते थे, कुछ मोबाइल नहीं था, कुछ टीवी, हमारे घर में तो लाइट ही नहीं थी, तो टीवी की तो बात ही नहीं. तो कुछ मतलब साधन ही नहीं थे टेक्नोलॉजी के जिससे हमें मोटिवेशन मिले, इंस्पिरेशन मिले. तो जो भी छोटा मोटा बहुत कुछ कान पे पड़ता था, उसी को लेके मोटिवेट होते थे. तो ऐसे ही छोटा सा घर था हमारा, जिसमें बिल्कुल मतलब कुछ फैसिलिटी नहीं थे. माय फादर यूज्ड टू सेल फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल, एंड देन लाइक इट वाज लाइक आप बेचो और जो भी मिलता है उससे गुजारा होता था बच्चों का. So like that my but then I had a very, very interesting interest in education. So I know that there was a lot of interesting stories in my life, but yes, life is not easy for any of us. And then but what of that, I like this Marie Curie's statement, and I really get admired and inspired of this great scientist Marie Curie. We must have perseverance, and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something, and that this thing at whatever cost must be attained. Yes, we have, each one of us have something that is gifted. You have to identify what is that. Okay, so I am going to just quickly share. As I said, we used to live in the slum area, very, very small home, and so many kids, like we are 5 siblings, and my father, mother both used to go for work. for selling fruit or vegetable seasonal. So we used to have, you know, a lot of customer in our home to buy the vegetable and fruit, a lot of crowd and a lot of mess in the home in the early morning. So there was no, you know, see, in the slum, education is not at all important. I'm sure many of you will echo with this statement because आपको पेट भरना है, उससे कुछ बढ़कर बात नहीं होती. आप पेट जब खाली रहता है ना, आप बाकी चीजों के बारे में सोच ही नहीं सकते, बिल्कुल ही नहीं सोच सकते. सो व्हेन देयर इज अ हंगर पेन इन योर स्टमक, यू नो, फॉरगेट अबाउट एजुकेशन. और माँ बाप भी क्या है, इतने बिजी होते हैं कमाने धमाने के चक्कर में, क्योंकि बच्चों को पालना है, पोसना है, तो ज्यादा उतना ध्यान नहीं होता है. मोटिवेटर भी कौन होता है. तो वो लिटरली वो स्लम एरिया में जो स्कूल के मतलब टीचर्स होते थे ना, वो चक्कर मार मार के पकड़ पकड़ के बच्चों को लेके जाते थे, स्कूल चलो स्कूल चलो स्कूल चलो. स्कूल में जाते थे भी कुछ कोई नहीं रहता था, लिटरली मतलब पकड़ पकड़ के, अरे भाई तुम्हारा बच्चा स्कूल नहीं आ रहा है, प्लीज आप भेजो. स्कूल बच्चों को क्यों नहीं भेजते थे, क्योंकि वो फ्री के लेबर्स थे. घर में काम करने के लिए कोई और लेबर नहीं कर पाता. अभी जैसे वी यूज्ड टू सेल फ्रूट्स वेजिटेबल, my father mother never afford because we were the laborer, so we used to do all kind of, you know, related work. So my father did not write me my name because thinking that I'm too small, but my brother used to go to the school, and then I liked school so much. I did not knew, maybe I am telling you, it's a gift of nature. There is some, you know, punya karmas in past life, and that is why I had that so much of interest. Whenever my brother used to study, go to school, you know, I was a very little kid, and but despite of that, I thought, you know, my parents are not putting my name in the school. I will do one thing, I will go on my school. I did not know that one has to write the name in the school. I just one day followed my brother in the school. My brother was not allowing me to go to follow him. He, you know, beated me entire way. My all arms and my face was red and black, but I said, okay, I will come to school. I am not going to, you know, leave this. And then I followed him to the school, and I hide myself under the desk of the. And slum में क्या स्कूल हो सकता है भाई, सब बच्चे आते हैं ऐसे ही बैठ जाते हैं, और टीचर के लिए छोटा सा टेबल कुर्सी डाला हुआ होता है, तो टीचर आती है और बच्चे नीचे ही बैठ जाते हैं ऐसे ही जमीन पे. कुछ फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, जैसे ऐसे ही, और एक साथ दो चार क्लास भी बिठा लेते हैं तो ताकि क्लास बड़ी दिखे. तो then I am hiding myself under the table, and then my brother is making so many faces that come home, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to beat you. And then I'm so scared, I'm shivered. Somehow the teacher noticed that there is one girl, and she was so nice. I'm so grateful to my early childhood teachers who have really made a big difference in my life, and of course my family. And that teacher went to my father and told him that he should admit me in the school, and then I started my school. You know, you will be surprised that I liked school so much that even on Sundays I went to the school. I waited for long, thinking that teacher would come. I liked the school. And then, as I said, that there was no home, a better home, no light, I always went on the roof. My father, you know, made a ladder for all the children, because there used to be always a crowd at the home. So he made a wooden ladder, thinking that, you know, my kids will go on the roof of the tin, and then they will study there. So that became a very, very good routine of my life. The ladder was made from the wooden, so I always tousled up to the tin roof, eager to learn about. And then, you know, the science. I said that maybe this is my past lives, punya karma, or whatever it is. You know, I got very motivating. I came across very motivating people like my family, my teachers, and despite of a very bad environment, you know, Chetna said that in slum में लोग सिर्फ दारू पीते हैं, जो भी कमाते हैं छोटा मोटा झगड़े करते हैं, मारपीट करते हैं, गंदी गंदी गाली गलौज करते हैं. Despite of that, I was the kid who was much focused, much concentrated, and I always liked, you know, science. मैं हमेशा सोचती थी कि क्यों birds fly करते हैं, क्यों maybe there are pigs, cows, and other animals are talking to each other. Like, that's how, you know, I liked science so much, you know. And और जैसे मैंने बोला कि बच्चे लेबर्स होते हैं, तो मैं बचपन से खाना पकाते आ रही हूँ, मुझे मालूम है। मैं yes, I finished. So just it was just, you know, 5 to 6 years of age I started cooking, and then cooking I started, but today I'm a food technologist, I'm a food scientist, and I work on the food. So that's a very inspiration, and I think if I can do, all of you can do. Education is very powerful tool. It is a ticket to success. It can make a revolution in your life. So go for it. It's very interesting. Do not stop yourself. Whatever kind of hurdles you might face, if there is a will, there is a way. And take help from community. I'm so thankful that during my time also, because of Baba Saheb's policies, like I did not have to pay a very heavy fees, because for our community SC ST, there were special fellowships. So make best use of it. Go to our people, talk to them. I offer my help on this platform related to STEM. If you have any queries, I will be very happy to help our girls. I will be very happy to going out of the way, way and help our girls. So thank you, Digital Nalanda, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shalini. Thank you for being so candid. बहुत अच्छा लगा आपकी स्टोरी सुनकर, और आपने बहुत ओपनली शेयर किया, बहुत इंस्पायरिंग था, और इंस्पायरिंग है कि यू आर नाउ known in the world for your article. So many congratulations. And हमारे जो बच्चे सुन रहे हैं, Dr. Shalini has offered that, you know, she will guide. So what else do you want, right? So great. Okay, moving on. I would like to read a quote from someone who was a powerhouse, a father of Dravidian movement. His name is E.V. Ramaswamy, or lovingly called as Periyar, and he said, only education, self-respect, and rational qualities will uplift the downtrodden, right? And that's what Dr. Shalini and Chetna both were sharing, कि हमको पढ़ाई की कितनी ज़रूरत है और उससे हम कितना आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, और ये if Dr. Shalini can do it, then anyone can do it, right? So moving on to next speaker, we have Kalai Vizi. I'm very sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Apologies, ma'am. Yeah. So about her, she's an educationist, founder and CEO of Neelam Foundation. She has worked with Aboriginal communities in Western Australia, also conducted a comparative study on caste and race as an international exchange student with Plan School of Social Work, USA, and was elected as president of TIS, that is Tata Institute of Social Sciences, of Student Union 2011-12. She is MA in Dalit and Tribal Social Justice Governance from TIS Mumbai. So over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, JB. I'm very happy to be here today, actually, to start a new year with so many inspiring women like this. I'm so inspired. I've been hearing all the stories from the morning. It's personally touched me a lot. I'm so happy that, and congratulations to Nalanda, Digital Nalanda, for bringing most inspiring stories together. So thank you so much for that. So I'm here to share my story. Before that, I just wanted to start with a quote from Maya Angelou. She's an African poet. Each time a woman stands up, knowingly, unknowingly, she stands up for every other woman like her. So this is like, very important quote for me, because the life that I've been traveling, every time, there are a lot of struggle. It's never been smooth. So every time I think of standing up, I used to think like, it's for all the girls, all the people in our community. So I should not quit. So that's like, some mantra that I keep on telling it to myself. So to start with, I was born and brought up in Chennai, a slum called Tagore Nagar. So I have 4 siblings. My father worked as a welder. So I was a part of Bharat Scouts and Guides from my childhood. So I've received the award from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, President Award in 2005. So I've studied in government school, and I've studied in the local language Tamil medium. So after completing my 12th standard, I went and joined BSW, Bachelor in Social Work from Madras School of Social, because I was actually interested to do more of social work in my future. So I joined there. So after 3 months of college, my parents came to college one day, and then I was very shocked. Why are they here? And then my mom told me that, you got a job from central government because of the Scouts and Guides. They have like sports quota, cultural quota. We have scout quota appointment. So I've got placement in central government. So my parents told me that, getting a job in central government by 19 years is like, something, a big achievement. So you need not to continue your education. So they took my TC from my college, and then took back me home, saying that you have to join the work. And I was so shocked, and I've told my parents that I want to study, and they said no, at this age getting a central government job is a big deal. So my father was so alcoholic that time, so I have to take care of my family as well. So thinking all these situations and everything, I've decided, okay, I'll go and join the job. So the first day when I went and joined the work, I thought like, I've got President Award, and I've like, finished my schooling. So at least they'll give me office assistant work. So I went, like I had like the best dress that I have got, and I went for the work for the first day. And then they took me to the railway workers canteen, where they've been like cooking for more than 1,000 people. So the supervisor took me and showed me around, and he said like, this is the place we like, wash vessels. This is the place, it's a dining hall, and this is the place where people like cook, and this is the place, showroom. They showed me everything. Then I thought like, okay, I'm going to do the supervising work. So that's why he's showing me everything. And then he took me to a room where all other staffs were sitting, all the women from the compassion ground, they were sitting. And one of the staff asked me, did you bring another dress? I said, no, I just got this dress. And then she said, tomorrow bring another dress, because while washing vessels, all your clothes will get wet. So you have to keep one dress here. And I like asked my supervisor, and he said, yes, your work is like, you have to come early in the morning by 7:30. Wash all the vessels and clean the table and take out the plates and sweep the floor and keep it clean and cut vegetables for cooking and all of it. And then I realized I'm going to do this work. And then I went back home. I told my parents I'm not going to do this work because this is not something I am destined for. But my parents told me like, you have to, adjust for some time, and then you can write exams and then like, get promotions. So simultaneously, after joining this work, I have applied for the distance education. I've joined BSc Psychology in correspondence. So I started studying. So almost for 3 years, I worked in railways canteen, cleaning vessels, sweeping the floor, taking the plates and all those things. For 3 years, I worked there. And also simultaneously, I was studying. The thing is like, I used to stand in water for a long time, and I got sinus, and then have like lot of health issues. So one fine day I went and spoke to my supervisor, sir, I want like, change. I want to change the place that I'm working from. He said, okay, come tomorrow. We've already made a decision. You're getting promoted. I was so happy. Okay, I'm getting relief from this place. And then again, I took the best dress and I wore, and I went, and he took me to the place called, it's a huge bus depot where like, most of the buses from the city comes and, takes place. So I went there, and he took me again to the room where other staffs were sitting, and one lady came and she gave me a broomstick, basket, and then she told me, from here to there is my area, and there to here is your area, and you have to come early in the morning, clean the place, and then like if any other, like, plants are there, you have to plug it out and then color the pots and then all those gardening work. And she told me, I've looked at my supervisor, I said, like, I'm not doing it. I can just at least do that work because it's inside the four wall. If anybody asks me, I can say that I'm working in central government. They are not going to know what kind of work that I do. So I've told him, no, I'm not going to do this. He said, no, the order is passed. You are being transferred to this department. We can't change. I have left with no option. I worked there for almost 1.5 years, sweeping the floor, cleaning the place, and doing those stuff. So that's where I realized, a lot of my friends who studied with me, who came to this bus depot to go for colleges, when I went and told them like hi and all, they didn't even they don't want to recognize me and say, like, who are you? They like behaved in a way that they never knew me. So that's somewhere, like, I've raised question, why should I confine myself to a small box? Even if I have, like, at that age I've received Rashtrapati Award, at that age I'm able to get a central government job. If I have a lot of talents, why should I confine myself to a small box? And that is the time I came to know about Tata Institute through one of my friend. So I applied for it and I wrote my entrance exam. My parents didn't know about it. I wrote it without their knowledge. So when I got selected, my parents doesn't want me to go to Mumbai because in most of the Tamil cinema, how they show Mumbai is like it's a place of terrorism, it's a place of prostitution and all those things. And also every time, like from the time we born till now, there will be 4 or 5 people who will be deciding for our life. For which dress you have to wear, what name you have to get, where you have to go, what type of, what language you should talk, how to sit, how to stand, everything is decided by, somebody else. So it was like my parents who were listening to all the stories. I'm not blaming my parents because the environment they've born and bought is they didn't want me to go away and study because they're scared of it. So at one point of time, I have to, fight with my parents, and then I resigned my job and I went out of my house. And 2 years while I was in TIS, I was not talking to my parents at all. Nobody in my family, they were not talking. So I went to TIS, I've joined TIS. So when I joined TIS is like a life-changing place for me because initially when I went to TIS, I studied in Tamil medium. I had a lot of language issues when I went there, and very low self-esteem because I thought like that's a place that I can never compete with the other students because it gave me a feel when it's a lot of cultural shock when I had when I went to TIS for the first time. And then later when I thought about it and like in first 1 month I was just sitting and crying inside the room, in the hostel room. I'm thinking like, no, I can't do this, I can't do this. And later one of my professor who spoke to me and he said like, if you're going to quit and going back to your place, you have nothing. And also what example are you going to set for the girls who is going to come out and study from your own community itself, from own slum itself? If they want to come out, what example are you going to set? They will say, okay, Muttamil had went and she came with nothing, or Muttamil went and she succeeded, and then their parents will say, okay, you can go. If you're giving a wrong negative example, nobody is going to come out. So you decide what you're going to do. That actually hit me. It's very strong. Then I've decided I'm going to fight, and then I'm going to give my best. And I was most of the time was in the library. I studied there, and then I got part-time job, and I worked part-time while I was studying in TIS itself. So then I took specialization in Dalits and Tribal Social Justice and Governance. So I've studied, and then I've got a chance to go and do a comparative study exchange student in Tulane School of Social Work. So when everything happened, it happened in a grand manner, and then I won the Students' Union election. It was not that easy. Even a place like this, we have a lot of discrimination, caste, class, and gender, all discrimination I have faced there. But there were a lot of support from the students from our own community who backed me up like anything, and I won the elections. So it was the 75th year Platinum Jubilee celebration of TIS. I became the first Dalit women president of Tata Institute, 75 years history. and then I've got like placed in Australia. So there is a campus interview. Before that, I've topped the college exams in Tata Institute. So I went back home after 2 years. I've asked my parents to come and see what I have done. They were not ready to come because they thought like I ran away with somebody. We didn't have like 2 years of connection at all. So they came, my parents came. Finally, from that day till here, I proved to my parents and my family that um, the decision that I've taken, the 2 years I've taken for myself is like really made them proud. I've not put them down in any situation. So after this, I went to Australia, and I worked there for 2 years with the tribals in Australia. I worked with them in their education, livelihood, and empowerment. So while I was there, while I was working in railways, my monthly salary was just 5,000 a month. And 2 years after this, it's a big paradigm shift, and then I was like earning in lakhs, and the whole life my transformed into a different lifestyle. So I was now raising questions to myself, like what made this transformation. Education is the only tool that which we can use to empower our own life. So education is something which transformed my whole life. So I was thinking like there were a lot of children and women in our community, in our society, who has a lot of talents, and they don't have proper opportunities to channelize their talents. So I wanted to start an organization. So in 2014, I quit my job in Australia. I came back to Chennai. I started an organization called Neelam. So Neelam, blue, the color blue is not just a color, it's a feeling, unity and equality. That is the tagline that we have. So we work with children and women, especially children of the marginalized communities and women of the marginalized communities. We have 25 academies running in our state now. We have all the extracurricular activities taught to the children, and the main aim is like we believe that the society can be free of exploitation, injustice and oppression only when everybody is aware of their rights, only when everyone is able to reclaim their suppressed voice and is empowered. So we as a team, we wanted our children to get education. We wanted our children to have new openings, all the opportunities that they wanted to get. So this is my when I like quit my job in central government, everybody was saying usko to pagal ho gayi, central government job ko chhod ke she is going somewhere my Hindi is not that good, so I try my best. So again, when I quit my job in Australia, everybody said the same. They said like don't do it because you will not have an opportunity to go back abroad and then earn money and all those things. But believe me, come out of your comfort zone. Don't like confine yourself to the small box that everybody is like everyone defined you that this is Muttamil, this is Upatra, this is like whoever it is. But don't go to their like definition. You have your own definition. Break the comfort zone. I broke my comfort zone every time. It's not about if something like life gives you S, there is something wrong. Whenever you get no, whenever you get struggles in your life, that is your stepping stone. I used to tell like the youngsters whenever I go for workshops and all, every stone that is being thrown at you, collect that and build a paradise on your own. That's like don't like take your pain or your struggle too much get into which will put you down. I wanted to tell a small story. When like in a group of people made sweets for a festival in ancient time, and they were like a lot of sweets made, and the ants started coming because there was no space or a vessel to cover it up. So they've been like doing all the tricks to stop the ants from coming, but they couldn't able to do. On that day, they hear that Buddha is coming on that way. So they thought like, okay, we'll go and ask Buddha what we can do. They went and asked Buddha, Buddha, we made sweets and we were not able to do anything. Can you please suggest us something? And then Buddha just gave a small smile, a beautiful smile. And he said, Don't do anything, just make a big circle of sugar around the sweets, and then just go sleep peacefully. And all the people who went and asked, they were like, what is this? Sugar will make a lot of other ants to come. But they have no other choice. They have to, they thought like they will listen to Buddha. And then they went and put a big circle of sugar, and then went and slept. They couldn't sleep. Next day morning, early morning, 4 o'clock, they went and saw only the ants. They had eaten up the sugars, and very few ants went to the sweets. So they were all shocked, and went back to Buddha to thank him, and asked him, how did you come to this kind of thought, to have a sugar circle? And he again smiled, and he said, I was just comparing human mind and the ant's mind, with both things in a similar way. So we all have a desire of big things like sweets, of bigger things. But on the way, while we are traveling, we have small things like sugar. We stop our desire in that, we fulfill our stomach in that, and then we will we are very comfortable with whatever we got. We get small things, so we are stopping our aim or goal from attaining in the small things that come across in our life. So for youngsters, I wanted to say that in our life, when we have big goals, when we have big desires, there'll be a lot of distraction like sugars in our life. There'll be love, there'll be other attraction, video games, social media, and then we have our own issues of caste, class, and gender. We come across everything in our life, but don't get fulfilled with whatever the small things that we get. Aim for the big things. That 4 or 5 ants who went cross the sugar and reached the sweets are the smartest ones. They must have tasted the sugar also, and they went to the sweets. So you can taste everything in your life, whatever social media, love, whatever it is, enjoy it, and then you should always concentrate on the bigger goal, because we are destined for the bigger things, not the smaller things. Because our community, our ancestors, our leaders have come across a big way of to create a path that we are walking now, because it was not that easy for them to create the smooth path for us. Though we have a lot of struggles in between, at least we have a path to walk. So I want all of you to walk on the path that is being created, and also simultaneously create new path for our next generation to walk on it. Just one thing, believe in yourself, irrespective of who is saying what about you, whether your parents, your friends, your teacher, anybody. If they say you can't do it twice. Definitely you can do it. Do it. Be very confident on yourself, because I used to say the only person that we talk more is our own self. It's not others coming and telling us you're this, you're that, no. What you tell to yourself is very, very important, because we are the one who speaks to ourselves more. So tell yourself that you're capable enough and you can do it. Break all the ceilings, and the life is so beautiful. So it is just, we have to see in a different perspective. We have to see with our own inner confidence that we can make change. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and I wish you all the very best. And I will definitely come and visit Nalanda one day, because Anup is one of my greatest inspiration. I used to tell him that I want to take that model and then start the same process in Chennai as well. So I've seen lot of young girls who is alumni of Nalanda is doing great. So wish you all very success, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Muthamil, and such a powerful talk, such a powerful journey. You inspire us to go beyond and beyond, and we love your Hindi. Our students would love to interact with you in spite of language barrier. I think they will learn a lot from you. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next speaker, and we have Swati Kamble. So Swati Kamble, a Dalit Bahujan academic, activist, and intersectional feminist. She focuses on studying the impact of Dalit women's activism on the policy processes in Maharashtra. Swati is PhD scholar at University of Geneva, Switzerland. So over to you, Swati.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled and honored to be here and sharing the virtual stage with all these awe-inspiring, amazing women and amazing stories. It makes my heart bigger to be part of this legacy, to celebrate on this very important day. So I will begin. I have made some notes, so I'll be reading out from them, so bear with me. So Jai Bhim, it's always a great pleasure to connect with young and aspiring people of our community that has a long history of resistance and revolution, community that strongly believes in knowledge creation and critical thinking. And I'm so inspired by Mutamir's story. It's just a testament. It's emblematic of what it tells to what length our people have gone and, you know, achieved and come back and plant many hundreds and thousands of seeds. And looking at, I think all of us, I had made a write-up a couple of years ago where I said, I dare say I'm Ambedkar. And I said it because of the kind of aspiration for education all of us have been inculcated in by being part of this community. And I'm looking at all these aspiring, inspiring women and young people that are listening to us. I feel like, yes, we are all creating revolution. We are all Savitrimai Phule's, we are all Ambedkars and all the revolutionary foremothers, forefathers that have gone before us and struggled. So today we are celebrating Savitrimai Phule's birth anniversary. Her life as educator is a symbol of for us all. And by seeking education and then spreading it to others, others who were all kept deprived from it for centuries, she's planted the seeds for revolution, like I said before. So I want all the young people here, and myself including, to take a deep breath and congratulate ourselves for inheriting this very inspiring legacy by following the footsteps of Phule, Ambedkar, Periyar, and all the revolutionaries that our community has given us. You know, today there is so much I want to share with you all, and there is so much already has been shared. All of us can relate with the stories, even when they are so diverse. We are regionally diverse, yet there is one common thread, you know. If we are a first generation of learners from our family, then we've seen great deal of struggles, right from figuring out which courses to apply, whether to continue education or go on working, and all those struggles. And like Mutamil said, that, you know, there will be always smaller things to settle for. So you have to constantly make choices and decisions when you don't know a lot of about the world, when you don't have a lot of role models and, you know, mentors right in front of the community. We have a story and legacy and a history, but when it comes to like, you know, where we are born and raised in slums of rural parts, we lack those immediate mentors. Whereas like in these recent decades, I think it's only growing with a lot of us coming to study in institutions like TIS and other IITs, and Nalanda is doing amazing, fantastic work by encouraging young people to go on and choose their path and break barriers and go into unconventional kind of courses and AI and so on. So, I mean, we have mentors in making now, but, you know, decades ago when some of us were growing up, we had limited sources, and yet, you know, we have broken those barriers. And I'm just very, very happy that what Nalanda is doing, and that all of you can gain some perspective and inspiration here. You know, our community has a tradition in Maharashtra. When growing up, I listened to speeches in the local community, and you can hear that the elders of the community will first take a series of names and say hail to, or pay respect to all the revolutionaries. So I'm following that footstep and saying again, I pay my respect to Savitrimai Phule, Mahatma Phule, and Dr. Ambedkar. These 19th century revolutionaries and 20th century revolutionaries created truth-seeking society and inculcated, like I said before, critical thinking and knowledge-seeking amongst us. It is due to Savitrimai Phule's contribution that you know, many of us are now educating all the women of this country. Should pay, like, are indebted by Savitrimai Phule's struggles. You know, together with Mahatma Phule, she raised awareness and took actions against Brahminical patriarchy, and she wrote eloquently on varied topics. Her writings are, you know, pioneering works of historical values. Her poetry called for revolution for from oppressed to throw off their slavery. In Bavan Kashi Subodh Ratnakar, she reiterates that Mahatma Phule's critique of Brahminical constructs of the time and the decadence and exploitative nature of Peshwa, the ruling class. So we know our history. In her poem, Mother English, she wrote that the ruling discriminatory Peshwa and the Brahmin rulers are defeated, and Mother English has come to emancipate us. So they looked at, like, even when we know that colonial past is very muddled, yet they looked at this opportunity of seeking education in another language as freeing, liberationary. So we Dalits have always constructed our stories quite different from this nationalistic idea of nationhood and loving our nation. But these path breakers sought wherever their emancipation came from. They really, again, I can't say it enough, they broke barriers, and this is the legacy that all of us are sharing, carrying. There has been struggle, but every time you feel that, you know, you're blocked, or you feel that where should I go ahead, we have to go back to this history. Coming to my story, I want to again go back to my family history, which begins before my birth in a small village, remote village of Maharashtra with my grandfather. You know, in early 1930s, as a young man, he had studied till the 8th grade, which is like quite impressive and exceptional in those days in the Mahar community. Even then, he had to take up his caste occupation as a potraj. You know, he devoted himself to a goddess and carried small wooden temple. In Maharashtra, a lot of people would know about potraj. They wore big, colorful, and they are still continuing this practice. So you would be seeing a lot of potraj on the streets of small remote villages or even towns. They wore these colorful garbs and that looks like a skirt, and he had grown his hair, which was matted, because, you know, they believe that the goddess stays in the hair, so they don't cut hair. So he begged for alms and grains for sustenance. I remember my father telling stories when there would be events or festivals. These young kids, my father and his siblings would dance on the pavement for grains. And even if this caste occupation is superstitious, undignified, people followed on it because that was also a source of income. In those days, in the 30s, Dr. Ambedkar's message was spreading in rural parts and in Dalit communities. So he emphasized. My grandfather heard about Dr. Ambedkar's speeches and inspired. He made a decision that he want to stop this humiliating work. From somewhere he heard that Hinduism and believing gods is really keeping you enchained to this mental slavery. So he wanted to visit where Dr. Ambedkar was coming to give speech in one of the nearby districts, and he went and attended that meeting by walking 40 kilometers. And in his act of rebellion, he wanted to renounce his Hindu identity, and he walked to the meeting all 40 kilometers. And I remember him telling me that he pulled each strand of his hair and renounced symbolically the religion that kept him enchained. And he threw the temple that he carried on his head while begging for alms. He threw it away in the water. And after that event, he never looked back. He never worshipped any gods, and eventually converted into Buddhism along with millions of other Mahar community Ambedkarite Buddhists in 1956. When I heard this story as a young child, it thrilled me and inspired me. I knew of I was understanding the evil power of caste mindset that kept our people enchained, but I also saw how our people resisted, broke free, like my grandfather did. And along many years, I saw many people breaking these chains, symbolic chains. Soon after this event, my grandfather moved to city, and my grandparents worked hard and lived in a workers' colony where my family still continues to live. 3 generations of now 4th generation with my new nieces and nephews. So 4 generations continuing to live there, yet we have seen a lot of change. My grandparents were selling fruits and vegetables and working as laborers at the port. And my parents, my father and his siblings were also working. My father helped his mother in selling fruits. And I remember him telling me stories of how, as a young child, he felt powerless when municipal corporate contractors would harass my grandmother. And, in these instances, when I heard stories of our courageous women struggling like this, I understood how much difficult life was for women in our community. And this is when I wanted to, learn about women's rights. And that begins like a journey for me to enter into social sciences, study social work, gender studies, policy studies. I'll get back to it in a while, but I will continue with the story of my parents. My father would tell me when he was a young boy, during the seasonal harvest in the village, upper caste women from the village would shoo him away and call him Dhedatsa Por, which if you want to translate, literally meaning there is a caste name, but it can be also derogatory term for a filthy animal. So, at school in the city, he also was segregated. We've heard ample stories of Dalit untouchable kids sitting in the periphery of the school, sitting at the back of the classroom, or even outside. My mother could continue to high school, but at the age of 14, when she was made to stand up on a bench as a punishment for not wearing proper pair of shoes, she could not continue her education. They could hardly afford any meal. So where was the question of pair of shoes? And she discontinued. Till this day, she regrets not continuing her education and not seeking for better option in occupation and in her life, which would have given better life for her children. But I still tell her that whatever choices they've made have really helped and facilitated her. I respect my parents' choices for continuing to educate us even when life was hard for them. But as a child, still you always have a question: why are we poor? And I remember questioning, like, still, is it something that my parents could have done differently if they had better jobs, or if they had something else to do? Maybe we wouldn't be like this. If they made a different choice, we wouldn't be poor. But the nature of systemic oppression that we have in our society, we know that we did not, as poor lower caste community people, do not really have a free choice or a level playing field. So that realization was also very important, that we have a very strong historical legacy that encourages us, and which is a struggle from history, yet the struggle continues. In the early 90s, my mother one day enrolled me into a nearby government school. I was fortunate to have a very dedicated teacher. She just loved to teach, and it was, quite, how shall I say, I don't want to say fortunate, but at the mercy of one individual's choice to be kind to her students really made a difference in my life. The free and mandatory government schools were only up to 7th grade in the little town in Mumbai city that I lived in. So if we were to continue further, I had to go into a semi-government school, which is partially subsidized, but it's no better than the school I went in. And like Shalini was describing, in our school also, there were times when we would be sitting 3 classes clubbed together because the teachers, we didn't have enough teachers. So, but this teacher that I had in my primary school really inspired me to go for higher education, go ahead. She even told my mother that I should be shifting school for even better access. So, with better school were slightly better school, there were, fees and other expenses. And I saw many of the kids from my community, especially girls, stopping school after 7th grade, and boys like my brothers and cousins started to fail when they shifted to this school. And here you can see that those subtle discriminations that, the reason was that we were coming from sub-quality government schools, inferior quality government schools, and suddenly switching to a school which was demanding. And the story was that you couldn't cope up in those schools. And there was, of course, certainly a bias against kids coming from government schools. So teacher gave up on these kids, and I was just terrorized that I'm going to fail also. And would not cross 8th standard threshold, and I will have to discontinue school like other kids, other girls. My father was a principled person who, again, this is a patriarchal trait where he wanted to provide for the family and he did not want my mother to go out and work. It is a limiting thing on one hand. On the other hand, it was, Dalit community stories are so complicated. academicians would read it as, Dalit patriarchy. But I know that my mother was a full-time worker and educator, and she really supported us siblings and encouraged us. So she was working full-time at home. They made really strong choices in their every decision. My mother had enrolled me, as I said, in this school, and I remember that I had to fill out form. So it was month of May, just before a month before the school would start, and I went on to fill out the form barefoot. It was the first time I remember feeling of shame came to me. My frock had a broken zip, and even with the sealed pins, my bony back was exposed, so I felt humiliated. But I was very happy that I was going to go to a better school. I did complete my high school, and I went on to college, and this was again boosting my confidence. And I knew that surely I was going to get higher education at least. After my college, I by chance heard about social work degree, and this degree appealed to me. I knew that after graduation, I would immediately go into working and start earning. So I went to College of Social Work, Nirmala Niketan. And it was the first time that I was seeing Greater Bombay. Nirmala Niketan again became one of the milestones and turning points of my life.
Sorry, I'll have to interrupt. You just have like a minute to go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So so there it goes. I started my college degree, and here is where I found my Bahujan community, Bahujan Students Network, mentors who shaped my aspiration for higher education. And to the young students here, I would like to say that, our community has a lot of mentors. You have seen it here. You have heard stories of all the people. So don't be afraid to reach out. And sky is the limit for everybody. Be open, like other speakers said. Don't limit yourself, and don't settle for little things. Aspire for higher education. I am doing my PhD in University of Geneva. You have a lot of scholarships of European Commission. You have scholarships of the universities. University of Geneva provides its own scholarships. Swiss government provides its scholarship. Almost every European and American government also has scholarships. This state governments in India, national government has scholarships. So all those informations will be sent out to you on Nalanda platform. If you want to reach out to me, I can also give information about the higher education scholarships in social sciences. And I just would like to say all the best, all the very best to you. If you want to know more about my current research, I'm open to share it via email. My email ID would be shared with you from Anup Bhai or others here. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. Such a moving story that you shared, your grandfather's story. We know what kind of past we have, but such a powerful, beautiful story of your grandfather renouncing the chains, physical chains as well as the symbolic chains. So yeah, thank you so much again. And moving on to our next speaker, we have Priyanka Patil. She is the owner and creative head of Rainbow Creations. Priyanka is a mural artist, fine artist, and an illustrator. She has over 25 murals in Nagpur, Mumbai, and Bangalore. She has an MFA degree from Sir J.J. School of Fine Arts, Bombay. Over to you, Priyanka.
Hi.
Hi, Priyanka.
Jai Bhim, everyone. Can I hear? Am I audible?
Yes, Priyanka, you're audible.
Yeah. So yes, I'll just share one screen here. So yeah, so I'm an artist. I have done my master's and bachelor's from Sir Jeju School of Art, and I would like to share my story in short with you guys. First of all, Jai Bhim to all and Jai Savitri to all. I'm really very happy sharing my story with you and for invitation. I'm really very happy and thankful to Nalanda Academy. So this is my college, JJ School of Art, for students who are aspiring to be at JJ, like to have their career in JJ School of Art, like for BFA, MFA, for art side. After 10th and 12th, you have to appear for an entrance exam, which is called MHCET. So after that entrance exam, you can opt for various departments in JJ, like for painting department, ceramic department, textile, metal, printmaking, sculpture. Also, there is a separate department called commercial art, which is like for advertisement, for digital side, like animation, photography. That all comes under commercial art. So, uh, before coming to BFA, after 10th and 12th, like I heard stories from few of my few here. After 12th, I also did engineering, but from JJ school, from BJTI, and but at final year, I just dropped out because from start only I didn't like that field. So later on I realized that no, it's art is the thing which I liked most. So I took that decision. Of course, like there was lot of parents and other what opposition coming, but yes, I had to do that. So later on, after BFA, I also did my MFA from JJ School of Art. I opted for mural painting for that. So, and after I'm completing my MFA, I also got opportunity to do work as a visiting lecturer for history of art at JJ School. So later, at the same time, I also started undertaking commission work for mural arts, like doing wall painting on large scales for hotels, for public spaces, like that. Also, we did some schools in Mumbai where some hotels like 4 Point Square Hotel at Vashi. So for undertaking that mural things, we needed to have our own company where we can introduce bills to our clients. So for that, I created my own small firm called Rainbow Creations, under which I do mural paintings and canvas paintings and commercialize gift articles and illustrations. So my first mural as a individual artist was at Khapar Kheda Thermal Power Station, which is like quite biggest of my life. It is of large at a large scale and around like 25 feet by some 30 feet something. So later on, I just started doing murals in Nagpur at Electric Loco Shade. Then I got an opportunity to paint our Ajni railway station, which is in Nagpur. For that I did a mural at a staircase, for pillars, and for parking areas. Various newspaper covered this story about this art and what art I did at as a public space. So later on, I also did some residential artworks, like theme based. Like if somebody wants, like for an music related thing, I would paint that. Somewhat nature thing, I would paint that. So later on, after marriage, I moved to Bangalore and I got an opportunity to work with Aether Energy, where I worked as a creative illustrator. At the same time, I also made a mural painting at the office. And also, I got a chance to paint at MG Road Metro Station, Rangoli Auditorium, it is called. So, yeah. And also at Bangalore itself, I painted like for residential spaces, some hotels, some restaurants, depending on their theme. Like as you can see here, it's for a cold station, which is an ice cream parlor. And later on, with simultaneously, I was working with different kind of projects, like illustrations. Whoever want some theme based illustrations, I would make them and paint them. I also again on in 2019, then Ajni at railway station, I got a chance for to paint the entire platform on Women's Day. So this is how it looks. So there are many large scale murals which I did during this course of time. And the thing with mural painting is that it gives you a very big canvas. It's not a small thing where you limit your creativity, but at the same time, it's not like mural painting is where your art is showcased, but whatever time, whatever media, whatever size you want to work on, you have to be creative about, you have to be thoughtful about. So yeah, so later on when this lockdown works time started, I actually concentrated more on our topics. Like I started reading on Baba Saheb Ambedkar. I started reading his books. So whatever his story are very inspiring. His books are very inspiring and they are very energetic. So I started painting his ideas, his thoughts. I tried to put them in how it should be, conceptualized, how it should be portrayed. So I found that with these themes, there is a huge gap which is not painted or which is not represented by artists. Like few artists are there who are working on these topics, but many these topics need much more representation. So these are my all the works which I am doing. So under that uh, currently I'm working on the same theme, uh, as a Baba Sahib as my theme, as he's our idol, he's our inspiration, and I love to paint him as much as possible. Like a single line can be a topic for our painting. Like one painting can be made out of a single line. So for then later on, I also started collaborating with different organizations, different groups, which were also working on the similar things. I then later on found that this art topics can be grouped under various categories, like for kids different, for youngsters different, for yeah, for elders it can be represented on a different level. So currently, so this illustrations which you are seeing on screen was done for kids, and it was I really like this thing because it gives me a liberty to paint Baba Saheb as a very loving person. Otherwise, we see him in a very strict. I mean, like it gives me a freedom to paint him in a different kind of like postures, different kind of activities he's doing. So, and now I'm also working on Did You Know series, where I am trying to portray Baba Saheb's lesser known thoughts, lesser known works which he had done, like what he had done for farmers, for as a he was a person who's because of his doctoral thesis, RBI is made. His what like his works for women and many more. So right now I am in Japan, and I'm also working. I'm here for language learning. I'm learning Japanese. So yeah, that is my story, and I only thing which I want to share with students over here is that um, the art gives you a lot of opportunity to be yourself. It gives you freedom. Like it is the only freedom uh, which you can take. You can take your liberty to present yourself, your ideas, your thoughts, your experiences, and it is the only medium, which appeals the most to everybody. Like if a person writes a journal, like for a thesis of 100 pages, an artist paints the same thing on his painting, the appeal is completely different and the output is completely different. Right now what I think is we need more artists, we need more representation. There is a big gap in the art field as well as for the representation of our topics to become as a for a visual representation. We need more. For that I really want Nalanda students to don't think like art is not a what you say a career option which is not going to help you succeed. It is definitely going to succeed, help you succeed in your life. So yeah, that is my story, and all the best. Thank you for inviting me. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim, Priyanka, and thank you for sharing your journey. Beautiful visuals to look at.
Thank you.
And great work with Baba Saheb's, work that he has done for us.
Yeah. So today I made this for Savitrimai Phule.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. Sorry.
Please share the digital copy with us.
Yeah. Sure. I'll share. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Priyanka.
Thank you.
And we have come to the end of DeepStambha section, right? Last but not the least, we're going to invite our last speaker, Yashali Bansor, software engineer, MSCI Pune, and then she's previously worked with Amazon Development Center as software development engineer. And she has also been a former scientist with Aeronautical Development Agency, which is with Ministry of Defense in Bangalore. She is BTech from VNIT Nagpur. So over to you, Ishali.
Hello. Hello everyone. थैंक यू डिजिटल नालंदा मुझे इतनी सारी अमेजिंग स्पीकर्स के बाद बोलने का मौका देने के लिए.
I'll just get straight to the talk. मेरा नाम यशाली है, मैं नागपुर से हूँ और करंटली MSCI सर्विसेज प्राइवेट लिमिटेड पुणे में सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर हूँ। सुबोध ने बताया था कि मैं अपनी कहानी सबसे शेयर करूँ, तो आज की तैयारी करते वक्त अपनी कहानी लिखते हुए मैंने सोचा कि निर्णय, शिक्षा और हिम्मत, इनको हाईलाइट करती हूँ समहाउ। मेरे नाना जी ने डॉक्टर अंबेडकर के भाषण से प्रेरित होकर अपने विवाह के बाद गांव में खेती छोड़कर शहर आने का निर्णय लिया, जिसके बाद और जिसके कारण मेरी कहानी शुरू होती है। मम्मी ने बचपन में बिस्किट्स के पैकेट्स क्लोज करने का काम किया है, लकड़ियाँ उठाई या बेची हैं, बहुत कुछ किया है अपने लिए थोड़े एक्स्ट्रा पैसे बनाने के लिए। पापा ने भी घड़ियाँ रिपेयर की हैं, बुक्स बाइंडिंग की हैं, दोनों ने किसी तरह अपना एजुकेशन कंप्लीट किया है। शहर छोड़कर गांव छोड़कर शहर आने की बात मम्मी ने मुझे बहुत पहले बताई थी, बहुत बचपन में, बट उस निर्णय का उस निर्णय के महत्व का की गहराई मुझे बहुत रिसेंटली समझ आई है। हम जहाँ रहते हैं, हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ियों की सामाजिक और आर्थिक क्षमता पर उसका असर पड़ता है। इस बात पर अमेरिका में अफ्रीकन समाज के लोगों पर जो रिसर्च पर मैंने एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बहुत रिसेंटली, बहुत हाल ही में देखी थी, और मैं वहाँ पर सिर्फ अपनी फैमिली को ही देख पा रही थी। सही मित्र, सहेली, शिक्षा प्राप्त करने के ऑप्शंस उन्हें इसी कारण मिले। जब मम्मी को सरकारी नौकरी मिली, वो मुझे लेकर अकेली 28-29 की उम्र में पहुंच गई एक गांव में। इस गांव में भूख लगे तो चॉकलेट खरीदने तक की दुकान नहीं थी, और पापा की नौकरी नागपुर में थी। यहाँ दोनों ने हिम्मत की और इस गांव को मम्मी के लिए ठीक समझा, और उसका कारण बस एक ही था कि यहाँ 25 साल पुरानी एक कॉन्वेंट स्कूल थी, जिसे पब्लिक और प्राइवेट कंपनीज जो उस गांव में स्थित थी वो सपोर्ट कर रही थी। इस तरह मेरी शिक्षा का निर्णय ले लिया गया। इसके बाद पापा ने 12, 14 पर 20 साल हर हफ्ते हमारे साथ 2 दिन बस वो हमारे साथ 2 दिन रहने आ पाते थे, और उनकी जॉब नागपुर में ही करते रहे। मम्मी ने एजुकेट, ऑर्गेनाइज, एजिटेट ये तो सिखाया ही था। तो फिर मैंने स्कूल में एजुकेट का निर्णय ले लिया। परीक्षा में अच्छे मार्क्स लाना ही मेरा गोल बन गया। लेकिन कई सालों बाद मैं समझ गई कि परीक्षा में अच्छे नंबर और सक्सेस को जोड़ता कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं है। सिर्फ हमारे सोचे समझे निर्णय और उन्हें पूरा करने की हिम्मत ही हमें मदद करते हैं। अब मेरा बस चलता तो मैं 10+2 में ही एरोस्पेस इंजीनियर बन जाती, बट 2008-10 में तुम्हें AIEEE और IIT JEE देनी होती थी। स्कूल के एक फ्रेंड के साथ 10+2 में कंप्यूटर साइंस मेजर सिलेक्ट कर लिया और ट्यूशन भी ज्वाइन कर ली। रिजल्ट्स आए और मेरी रैंक पे एरोस्पेस नहीं मिल रहा था। कंप्लीटली डायरेक्शनलेस और क्लूलेस, बट 10+2 में कंप्यूटर साइंस जो सिलेक्ट किया था वो बन गया अपने निर्णय को बदलने की हिम्मत। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी नागपुर से बीटेक करने की कहानी बहुत लंबी है। मैंने थोड़ा डांस ड्रामा के साथ ढेर सारी पढ़ाई कर ली, क्योंकि बचपन का निर्णय अभी बदला नहीं था। तो शिक्षण पूरा किया कंप्यूटर साइंस एंड इंजीनियरिंग में। क्लास में टॉप 10 नंबर होने के बाद भी सबसे आखिर में सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग वाली प्लेसमेंट मिली। इसको ज्वाइन करने में 1 महीना बाकी था। मैंने इसरो के इंटरव्यू के लिए अप्लाई कर दिया। उस बार सिर्फ बीटेक के मार्क्स पर शॉर्टलिस्ट हो गई। यहाँ नंबर काम आ गए। इंटरव्यू देने हैदराबाद पहुंची, लेकिन एक और प्राइवेट कंपनी में हैदराबाद में ही उसी दिन इंटरव्यू था। इसरो में 2 ही सीटें थी और मुझे पता था कि आगे चलकर मेरे पास और भी और अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आएंगी, हर साल ओपनिंग्स आएंगी, तो बेटर सैलरी भी अवेलेबल थी दूसरी कंपनी में। तो मैंने इसरो का इंटरव्यू छोड़कर पैक्सेट का इंटरव्यू दे दिया और वहाँ सेलेक्ट हो गई। 1.5 साल जॉब के साथ पढ़ती रही, एग्ज़ाम्स देती रही, क्योंकि इसरो, DRDO और BARC में रिसर्च करने का मन बना लिया था। फिर fab.com पुणे में सिलेक्शन हुआ, लेकिन साथ ही भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लिमिटेड बैंगलोर, जो कि एक PSU है, पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग है, वहाँ इंजीनियर का जॉब मिल गया। एक बार फिर हिम्मत करके बेल छोड़कर ई-कॉमर्स वेबसाइट के लिए सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बन गई, क्योंकि रिसर्च का निर्णय अभी चेंज नहीं हुआ था। तो इंजीनियर का जॉब क्यों लेती। लेकिन 10 महीनों में कंपनी डूब गई। इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन तो अब भी शुरू ही था। उसी साल एरोनॉटिकल डेवलपमेंट एजेंसी DRDO बैंगलोर में साइंटिस्ट बन गई। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस के लिए साइंटिस्ट बनने का ड्रीम पूरा करके जो खुशी मिली थी वो मैं आपको डिस्क्राइब नहीं कर सकती। यहाँ 3 साल 12 इंजीनियर्स की टीम को लीड किया, सॉफ्टवेयर मैनेजमेंट का एक्सपीरियंस लिया, लेकिन रिसर्च का मौका मिले ये, और मैं कोई उस एयरक्राफ्ट में कुछ बेहतर कर पाऊँ उस रिसर्च से, अपनी रिसर्च से, ये मुझे होता कुछ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा था। और मेरा काम काफ़ी सॉफ्टवेयर ओरिएंटेड था वहाँ। तो मैंने सोचा अगर यही करना है तो चलते हैं जहाँ बहुत सारा इनोवेशन हो रहा है प्राइवेट में। फिर प्रमोशन से ठीक पहले कोरोना के लॉकडाउन में, जब प्राइवेट जॉब सारी खतरे में थी, मार्च में मैंने रिज़ाइन कर दिया, क्योंकि साल भर की मेहनत और 6-7 इंटरव्यूज़ के बाद माइक्रोसॉफ्ट और अमेज़ॉन दोनों के ही ऑफर्स मिल गए थे। अमेज़ॉन में एलेक्सा की स्मार्ट होम टेक्नोलॉजी पर काम किया। 6 महीने में 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स कंप्लीट करने के बाद अब मैं काफ़ी थक गई थी। मुझे लग रहा था कि मैं कभी रुकी ही नहीं हूँ। आई ऑलवेज वांटेड कि मैं ये एग्ज़ाम दे दूँ, वो एग्ज़ाम दे दूँ। तो मुझे स्पीड कम करना बहुत ज़रूरी था, अपने लिए समय निकालना बहुत ज़रूरी था। मैंने MSc में सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग का स्विच कर लिया, और ये मैंने सोचकर डिसीजन लिया कि यहाँ काम ऐसा होगा कि मैं थक भी जाऊँ तो हिम्मत नहीं हारूंगी। मुझे 2020 में ये समझ आया है कि करियर कैसा होना चाहिए, इसका कोई रूल नहीं होता। अपनी एजुकेशन और स्किल्स पर निरंतर काम करते रहें तो हिम्मत और निर्णय लेने की क्षमता बनी रहती है। इम्पोस्टर सिंड्रोम से मेरी लड़ाई अब भी जारी है, तो आई होप कि मेरी कहानी से मैं सबके साथ कोई कनेक्शन बना पाई हूँ। आज और आने वाले डेकेड्स में सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी हमारे लाइफ के हर पार्ट को इन्फ्लुएंस करेगी। आपको इस फील्ड में आगे बढ़ने के लिए हर कुछ महीनों में बदलती टेक्नोलॉजी, इम्प्रूव होती टेक्नोलॉजी, इसके साथ बदलते रहना है, अपडेटेड रहना है। 10+2 में बेसिक PCM में क्वालिफाई होना है, अपनी नेशनल और स्टेट लेवल एग्ज़ाम्स देनी है। इसके लिए ऑफलाइन, ऑनलाइन दोनों ही कोर्सेज अवेलेबल हैं, फ्री हैं, पेड हैं, बहुत ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं। और फिर नंबर अच्छे आए तो इंडिया के टॉप 20 कॉलेजेस से पढ़ोगे और यू गेट जॉब्स या अपना बिजनेस शुरू कर सकते हो। सही लोगों से पहचान बनेगी। लेकिन नंबर अच्छे नहीं आए तो फिर भी ढेर सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़, ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स, गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, CDAC, पुणे, हैदराबाद, बैंगलोर और बहुत सारे सिटीज़ में हैं, जहाँ अच्छे कोर्सेज कर सकते हैं, प्लेसमेंट्स हो सकती हैं। इसके अलावा ऑनलाइन है इतने सारे फ्री कोर्सेज कि आप सही रिसर्च करके अपने आप को कंटिन्यूसली अपस्किल कर सकते हो। आप कंप्यूटर साइंस में ग्रेजुएट ना भी हो तब भी किसी भी उम्र में IT में इनोवेशन ला सकते हो। इनफैक्ट आज सुबह इलॉन मस्क ने ट्वीट किया था कि इवन इफ आप हाई स्कूल ना गए हो तब भी अगर आप कोडिंग जानते हैं तो वो आपको हायर करेंगे। आपने सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी सीखनी है, लॉजिक, एनालिसिस, रीजनिंग को शार्प रखना है, कॉमन सेंस को शार्प रखना है, और आप चाहो इस कंपनी में माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, अमेजॉन, गूगल आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, आप फ्रीलांसिंग कर सकते हो, आपको जॉब नहीं करनी, आप फ्रीलांसिंग कर सकते हो, आप अपनी कंपनी खोल सकते हो, आप चाहो उतनी इनोवेशंस कर सकते हो, बिकॉज टेक्नोलॉजी हर किसी को एम्पावर करती है और सारी ही प्रॉब्लम्स का सल्यूशन आप किसी तरह से टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। करियर में एक्सेल करने के लिए सिर्फ टेक्निकल स्किल्स नहीं, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स पर भी काम करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। चेतना मैम ने इंग्लिश का इम्पोर्टेंस जितने आसान वर्ड्स में समझाया था उसको मैं वापस रिपीट करूँगी। आप प्लीज़ स्टोरी बुक्स, कॉमिक बुक्स इंग्लिश में पढ़िए। मदर टंग में सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन जब होता है तब कई स्टूडेंट्स को कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है। हमें रिटन और स्पोकन इंग्लिश को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए रीडिंग की हैबिट बनानी है। स्पोर्ट्स पसंद है, आप स्पोर्ट्स की बुक्स पढ़िए। आपको टीवी सीरियल्स पसंद है, आप एंटरटेनमेंट की मैगजीन्स पढ़िए। बुक्स इस दुनिया की हर टॉपिक पर लिखी जाती है, बट इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज पर कमांड आपको स्कूल, कॉलेज, प्रोफेशनल लाइफ हर चीज़ में हेल्प करेंगे। बड़े बड़े करोड़ों में कमाने वाले क्रिकेटर्स पर भी जोक्स बनते हैं क्योंकि वो इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यूज़ नहीं दे पाते। हायर एजुकेशन, स्पोर्ट्स, आर्ट्स सबके ग्लोबल एक्सपोजर के लिए इंग्लिश इम्पॉर्टेंट है। आप बस इसे पढ़ाई नहीं, अपने इंटरेस्ट की चीज़ को एक्सप्लोर करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी की तरह देखिए। बस इस न्यू ईयर आप निर्णय लीजिए कि आप अपने अराउंड सारी चीज़ों को क्वेश्चन करेंगे, ऑब्जर्व करेंगे और प्रॉब्लम्स का सल्यूशन ढूंढेंगे। अपनी हिम्मत को हमेशा स्ट्रांग रखने के लिए अपने आप को एजुकेट करिए। जय भीम।
जय भीम यशाली, थैंक यू सो मच। आपका नरेशन बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल था और निर्णय, हिम्मत और अगेन एजुकेशन पे आपने जो स्ट्रेस किया बहुत ब्यूटीफुल था। थैंक यू सो मच। और इसी के साथ ये हमारा जो दीप स्तंभ का जो सेक्शन है, जो सबसे पावरफुल सेक्शन है आज का, वो हम कंक्लूड करेंगे, अभी यहाँ पे समाप्त करेंगे। और जस्ट सम क्लोजिंग लाइंस की we owe a debt of gratitude to all who were present today, who spoke today, and because they've paved the way for us and for so many other women in our generations, right? So we are so much inspired, and you have really shared stories of boundless possibilities for all the community women and also for men. So thank you so much. और सारे हमारे students आज बहुत inspire हुए होंगे। और before I close, बाबा साहब का एक कोट पढ़ना चाहती हूँ मैं। उनके बगैर तो ना ओपनिंग हो सकती है ना क्लोजिंग हो सकती है। तो पर्पस ऑफ एजुकेशन इज टू मॉरलाइज एंड सोशलाइज द पीपल। सो आई थिंक एजुकेशन के बाद बहुत लोगों ने बोला है कि हाउ कैन वी रियली इम्पैक्ट आवर सोसाइटी विथ व्हाट एजुकेशन वीव गॉट, व्हाट रिसोर्सेज वीव गॉट। सो इसी के साथ जय भीम सभी को, और हम मिलेंगे ब्रेक के बाद at 2 o'clock and then we will have wonderful 2 sessions, Pradipta and NavKiran, जहाँ पे हमको डिजिटल नालंदा के जो MD है वो सपना जामुड़कर ज्वाइन करेंगे। सो मीट यू ऑल at 2 PM। और सर ने लिंक शेयर किया है, अनूप सर ने, सो आई थिंक वी शुड ऑल ज्वाइन ऑन दैट लिंक। सो जय भीम अगेन।